Yes, sir. Just got off work. We finna get into it. Get into it. Play some damn music. What's up
El Blasta M, mejor. And my family in the country. Oh no, fuck that. And my family out in Memphis. Oh no, what they know? Yeah, when I look to the right, is green, yeah. I've been misunderstood since a fucking teen. Hella, bro. I've been driving around my city with that crippling. You know that's everything. And the bean, I tell my girl, don't worry, I'm just serving beans, yeah. I'm just being king. Her ass heavy P. She know I'm heavy P, yeah. If the bed flushing every I'm flushing everything and won't say a thing. You niggas get up in it and tell everything, and that's unsettling. Yeah, when them doors roll, you gon' have to settle things. Yeah, I come through with that street sweeper, Mr. Clean, and I'm selling drinks to the niggas, Dr. King. White bitch short coke and say it's not a thing. And the family real set, but it's a thing. What? Until sick. Your auntie, she did it like 12. Yeah, gasoline, huh? I'ma take over the world, you ask me.
What's up? What's up?
Her head get the clapping, I'ma
What it do, Rock
I'm
75?
addicted to her crack like a crack fiend. And I'm serving all the seed. She shake her ass to my song, that's harmony. Yeah, she take that dick, that's robbery. Baby, you the baddest bitch, not the nominee. Yeah, baby, you the baddest bitch, not the nominee. I bought 3 keys in Memphis, they went 10 a key. When I look to the left, all I see is green. Yeah, when I look to the right, all I see is green. Yeah, I've been misunderstood since a fucking crippling. Yeah, you know that's everything. And that trouble game.
Yeah. We finna get ready in a minute. We finna get started in a
I'm
minute.
just being king. Her
Just
ass
rolling
heavy,
something up right
she know I'm
quick.
heavy, yeah. If the feds
Rolling a little blunt
flushing everything.
before we get started.
I'm flushing everything.
Y'all know where y'all heard it first.
You niggas
Blockstar MS Analytics.
when those roll, you gon' have to settle things. When they took off from me, it was devastating. Yeah,
The state got them before I could levitate. Send them up to heaven, no respiration.
Yeah,
No one lives forever, that's expiration. Yeah, she bounce her ass, no hesitation. Baby, I'ma throw them bins, no legislation. I'm a street probation. Yeah, why my girl wanna try to play me? Yeah, like I'm weak, wrong estimation. Yeah, I'ma sell crack, that's domination. Yeah, I'ma lick 'em, no denomination. Yeah,
her ass
new, that's a renovation. Baby, I'ma kill that pussy, that's assimilation.
Yeah,
Take all of
my
that.
kids.
I'ma beat that pussy up, that's penetration. Yeah, baby, bounce that ass for a nigga wait.
Yeah, baby, bounce that ass for a nigga wait. Cause you know he paying. No expiration, no limitation. Yeah, baby, throw that pussy till the nigga grave. Yeah, I have my money.
Yeah, I think it would be much better if we could all just sit back and smoke some bud. I'm rolling one up right now. We finna get ready to get into it. We finna get ready to get into it, y'all. Hey, y'all know where y'all heard it first. Y'all heard it first here at Blockstar MS Analytics. What everybody about the friend, they got that from us in the Griot talk show where the mom and dad took the interview yesterday and we caught it 5 hours after they took the interview. No one else caught it until today. They started talking about it. We've been figured out. Yeah, we've been figured out about the interview. We've been figured out. Mom already said she don't know, dude. Tristan, Tristan Shepard, Nolan folks don't know you. And I told y'all, I said, look, don't pay attention to the fucking pool pictures. I said, because now we see Shepard will say anything for them white folks. Tristan, yeah, he'll say anything for the judge mom. He'll say anything for Katie them mom. He'll do anything for him. Tristan would. Tristan, what they pay you to throw the story, bro? that's what we asking her. Like, Tristan, what the fuck did these folk pay you to throw the story? Yeah. I said attention to none of that shit with a picture of a kid with a fro in the pool and they saying that was Nolan. If that was Nolan, nothing that's went on in the case thus far would be true. And who are the ones that would benefit from nothing in the case so far being true? Them 3 white boys, one white girl, Katie, and the white boy's stepmom that's a judge. 6 of these people would benefit if the story that we all know it to be true about Nolan Well's situation wasn't true. All 6 of them people would benefit from it. Y'all like the video and subscribe to the channel. Yeah. So those are the people that's trying to throw the story. I said, really? A pool party? I said, it's dark as hell outside. I said, why can't I see Nolan's face clear? If that's Nolan and they Nolan to turn around and take a picture, they gonna be much closer than that to get a picture of Nolan in the pool with the group of guys that's supposedly standing around him. I said, that ain't Nolan. For all we know, that's Tristan, y'all. Yeah. What's up? Increased peace. What it do? Rock 75. Yeah, you pretty lazy, so you got some pre-rolls. That's what's up. Hey, them pre-rolls good too, man. Yeah, I love the raw pre-rolls. That's got like 1.5 or 2 grams in it with the wax and the keef around it. Yeah, they got not the raw joints, but the backwood joints. They got the dank woods, they got the backwoods, the packwoods. You know what I'm saying? I think the packwoods is the hybrid joints where it's indica and sativa. Yeah, but we fuck with that. We fuck with that, Rock. Heavy Santos. What it do? Black Power. Be real. Yeah, shout out to Heavy Santos. Y'all don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Prince Cash You Out. What it do? Which parent assisted? What you mean which parent assisted? You talking about Tristan Shepard ugly? I don't know, nonsense experience. I don't know about that. Onions are fashion accessories. I don't think so. I mean, if you look good, you want to smell good. If you fashion forward, you want to be scent forward too, or cologne forward. I don't think, you know. Yeah, okay. So that's who you talking about. Which parents assist Tristan Shepard with the lie? I believe Katie's mom assisted him, and the white boy who mom a step judge. And they assisted him too. And what they did was they said, look, they're getting close. They said, I believe they gave him an ultimatum. They said, look here, Tristan. If you want to have a good life in this neighborhood, you got to pick a side. They said, what they probably said. They probably said some shit like, Nolan's on. You can't save Nolan now, but you can save your other 3 friends, and you can save Katie. But you gotta pick a side. Now we need you to say that it wasn't Nolan arguing in that video. It was you. He like, but they won't believe. She's like, yes, they will believe you. Because the other little black kid, what's his name? Friends with Nolan, that's really friends with Nolan. He already went on TMZ. He couldn't tell if it was you or Nolan yelling in the video. Yeah, Tristan, we know. You friends of the little black boy that's friends with Nolan. He said, I can't tell if it was Nolan in the video yelling or my other friend. He say that you was Nolan's friend, nigga. So let's get that frank. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, chat? He did not say the young boy on TMZ. I can't never fucking remember his name. He did not say, I can't remember if it was Nolan. I can't tell it was Nolan or if it was Nolan's other friend. He said, I can't tell if it was Nolan or if it was my other friend. Nolan mom. She stamped that for us because she got on the interview on the grill yesterday when we reported the shit 45 hours after it aired. 3 hours after I already snagged the sound bite for us to hear it ourselves and analyze it and break it down for what it is. She said, I don't know why he would say that because we don't know Tristan. He's never been over our house. We never met his parents. He's never met us. For him to say that he's Nolan's best friend and childhood friend, that's pretty far. Like, that's pretty far-fetched. Like, she don't know you. His dad don't know you. She said, now, if you're talking about the other young boy that was on TMZ, she said, yes, we know him. She called one of the white boys' name. She said, yes, we know him. Their parents, we met their parents. They've been over our house. We've been over their houses. She said, but yeah, I don't know why Tristan would say that. We don't know him. Right? But we know that these white people got in Tristan's ear. And Tristan said, you're right, he did say that. And they said, plus, we still got that photo of you and Nolan in the kitchen. They had 2 or 3 photos of the young black dude on TMZ with, we got a photo of you with Nolan. Nigga, that's the only photo I've seen with you and Nolan. So as far as I'm concerned, you just a fan of Nolan's. Just like any other white girl or any other white boy that took a picture with him, and it ain't more than one picture of them out there on the internet. Tristan Shepard, we all got the same fucking picture of you and Nolan surfacing out here on the internet. I haven't seen one different. I haven't seen one different. Unless someone took that picture to a collage of other pictures, other pictures of you, but it's never you and him except for that picture, which makes me believe that y'all use that picture as a facade for to believe that you're actually Nolan's. You're not Nolan's friend. You telling me you Nolan's childhood friend and y'all only got one fucking picture together, Tristan Shepard? I don't know, chat. What y'all think? These folk got one fucking picture together. And he's telling us that they was childhood friends. Mama verified. Mama Nolan Wells already verified this shit. We don't know, dude. She didn't say dude, but I'm gonna say dude for her. What's his name? Tristan Wells. We don't know him. We gonna start our live off tonight with that clip. Yeah, we gonna start off with that clip. Like I said, listen, y'all. They trying to throw the story. Like I would say, I believe that there's Tristan in the motherfucking pool. Talking about 1 p.m. Nolan wasn't at no damn pool party at 1 p.m. Nolan was dead. You want to try to, Tristan, you want to try to speak up talking about Nolan friends. We wouldn't do that. No, nigga, let the other so-called Nolan friends speak. My nigga, watch this. Watch this, chat. Watch this, my chat analyst. I got this one for Tristan. Tristan, my nigga. We didn't even know Nolan had black friends. Tristan, nigga. We didn't even know Nolan had black friends. Where the fuck all these black people come from after he died? Where the fuck was y'all at when he was with them white boys that everybody thought was his so-called friends? Where the fuck was y'all black folks at? Huh? All you young black dudes that's coming out right now talking about we were Nolan best friends and we just want justice for Nolan. No, you don't. No, you don't. You want justice for them white boys, Katie, her mom, the judge, the white woman judge. You want justice for all of them. Because if you wanted justice for Nolan, when you speak up on these radios and you speak up on these TV interviews, you would be saying, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Nolan. I know, and you would air white boys' names out. You would know Jake, Paul, John were all with them. And they need to speak out now. If you cared about Nolan's situation, if you wanted Nolan to get so much justice, why are you speaking out? Half of some white boys that would never speak out for you. On behalf of some white boy that killed Nolan. Because you don't want to die? Is that what it is? Oh, you scared and you weak. You scared and you weak. You'll use the excuse that you don't want to die. But my nigga, if you tell the truth, then these motherfuckers will be kill you there. Hold on, if they get into you death threats, if they spray paint ways and shit with racial slurs and shit, when this shit come out and the truth hit the fan, that's what y'all gonna say when y'all getting arrested right along with the white boys. I, I wanted to tell, but I was scared. Oh, now you wanted to tell the truth. Now you scared. But your ass wasn't scared when you was up here lying. Your ass wasn't scared when you was saying, no, that wasn't Nolan in the video. That tall black guy with the fro that y'all saw in the video arguing, that wasn't Nolan. That was me, even though I'm short and I don't have a fro. I saw the video. I saw the camera pan across the beach as they slowed the camera down, highlighted Nolan with his tall self. Big fro. Nolan was the only nigga on the beach with a fro, my guy. So Tristan, what the fuck are you talking about? Chat, I'm pissed off at Tristan. Look at my guy. No, I don't seem to be a bit racist to the whites. Said nothing about the whites. I said the white people that's got something to do with Nolan's death, man. But hey, look, if the shoe fit, wear it. Because this is one thing that we don't give a fuck about in this chat. We don't give a fuck about anyone catching offense to what we're saying. Because look, you're not going to get offense if it's not about you. You're not going to catch offense if you don't feel like I'm talking about you right now. Right now, watch this. Prime example. Nancy Grace. She racist as fuck. I still watch her show. Because most of the racist shit she say, it does not bother me. You know why? Because she's not talking about me. Most of the racist shit she be saying, she be talking about the individuals that's not her race on a story that she's covering. The only time her racist shit might bother me, we talking about Nancy Grace here. The only time her racist white shit or racist white comments might bother me is when she's talking about a story covering that has a young black kid involved. Not a real, okay, take Carmelo Anthony's case. Over Carmelo Anthony's case, she was very racist towards Carmelo Anthony. She called him a killer. She called him a fugitive. She called him but the child of God and a black kid. But every reference to Carmelo Anthony, she would say stuff like, he's a killer and he killed that poor child. Every time she talked about Austin Metcalf, she would say poor child, poor kid, that baby. But when you talk about the kid that was in the incident that he bullied, that him and his brother bullied, that killed them, that was the same age as him, you didn't call him a kid. You didn't call him a child. You didn't say that baby killed that baby. That baby didn't know any better. That baby killed that baby. That child, bless his heart, is going to have to do 50 years for killing another child. Right? So every time she called that young kid, Carmelo Anthony, that young black kid, a fugitive or a killer or some shit out of his name that wasn't a child of God, I got pissed. Yeah. But now, let her talk about Lil Durk, right? Let her talk about Lil Durk and say he's a killer. He didn't care about anybody. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, damn. Nancy Grace, she pretty right on this one with her racist ass. But I'm not going to be mad at her for it. Nah, I'm not going to be mad for them racist comments. Because she wasn't talking about me. She was talking about Lil Durk. And I'm nothing like Lil Durk. Right? I don't feel nothing from her talking about Lil Durk. He done took plenty of young black people's lives through the rap game and through the streets. I don't feel for him. I never say free Durk unless it is some shit that I'm using, unless it's like clickbait that I'm using to get on a post that I put out, right? But I never say this shit. Free Durk my ass. Keep Durk locked up. Free Durk. Keep Durk, nigga. Keep him. I never say free Pooh Shiesty. No, stay locked up. I would love to hear what Nancy Grace got to say about him. But as long as she keep that racist white shit over there, I ain't got no problem with it. Yeah, Nancy Grace. You know who I'm talking about. I don't know what the fuck I called her, but yeah, Nancy Grace. Yeah, she racist as fuck. Just check her out. I follow her. I can actually go through the videos and pull up video for video where she done said racist ass comments or done been in a racist ass character. She done had white journalists on there interviewing them talking about Carmelo Anthony, and those white journalists remain neutral. And every time Nancy Grace go off the Richter scale with it, you know what the white fucking journalists do? They remain silent. They don't agree with her, right? What I hate though is they don't disagree with her. Remain silent to remain neutral. Like they don't want to agree with her because they see that it's racist and they could get lashed back from it. They like, Nancy, we young. We be out in the media and out in the public. Nancy, you old. You sit up on your shit and we never see you out in public. Yeah, you probably do like the judges that lock up a lot of, that wrongful convicted a lot of black criminals. Yeah, deserved to be behind bars, but they didn't deserve the sentence that they got, or you inflated their sentence and shit. You gotta fly in helicopters and shit when you get off work like them judges do. I don't. What I say is truth. And if any race, like when I'm out in public, you and not my race, right? And be mad at me for something I said on my live. Because so many people around that know who I am, so many black people, them folk gonna stand up for me. That's what I love about my people. They gonna stand up for me. Boy, when I'm at work, them black people at work that follow me and be on my live, man, they stand up for me. When I go different places and shit, people be asking me because they see my numbers going up and the subscribers going up and they love the way I talk. They like, man, what you talk about last night? Look, Miss Karina Chanel. I don't listen. Nancy Grace was a prosecutor. Prosecutor no more. So it's like you're a prosecutor. You prosecute in a courtroom, right? Most black people don't even like the word prosecutor because they grew up in a poverty area and they've experienced whether it was for running on ticket when they was older, murder or a crime that they committed that got their ass locked up for the rest of their life. The free black people, we don't even like the word prosecutor unless we a prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? Whether we got money or not. So when you a prosecutor, just like judges, if you retire and you're no longer a prosecutor or a motherfucking judge, that prosecute life and that judge life, this shit stays in a courtroom because you can really offend people out here on the streets from being a prosecutor and judge. Took a lot of people, right? You offend people from taking their family members' lives away. It was a kid that don't understand what their uncle did, and Nancy Grace prosecuted their uncle. Fucked up in the head, grew up in the ghetto, and looking for Nancy Grace right now. And if they caught her, who knows what the fuck happened. That's most judges. That's federal judges. Cause federal time, they give people life sentences all the fuck time. Okay, you just gave a cartel boss a life sentence as a prosecutor. You just made sure he got a life sentence. That cartel boss can't touch you because he's got a life sentence and he's locked up forever. But he's fucking runs a cartel. The cartel is everywhere. It's everywhere. So what makes you think that he ain't gonna be able to touch you? Be locked up behind bars. Now, most judges treat life. Most judges, we don't even see them eat at restaurants because they eat at the restaurant about as regular people. Right? That's just like here in Memphis. There was an old woman that owned half of Beale Street. Her name was Miss Ruby Wilson. Miss Ruby Wilson worked with the law firms through Memphis. She worked with politics in Memphis. She even paid the mortgage for most of the businesses and clubs on Memphis, on Beale Street in Memphis when she was alive. It was half of Beale Street. The Coyote Ugly, the New Daisy, the Tin Roof, the Green Room to the Tin Roof, Pool Hall, the Blue Note, the New Daisy, the Old Daisy Theater, Sweetie Pies. That Mark Wahlberg was supposed to lease out, but then COVID hit. So his deals and shit and his investors fell through. So he never bought Memphis on Beale Street at the Sweetie Pies location. Right? The police station on Beale Street. It's in a building that Miss Ruby Wilson owned. Right? At the corner of Beale Street, there's an antique shop with like Elvis shit in it and different souvenirs and stuff. On the top of that building, the top floor, if you look up over the souvenir store, you see that it's windows all the way around the building, but they all tinted with limo tint, black limo tint. If you walk around that building to the back alley, there's a stairwell that goes up the side of that building to the top floor where those windows are tinted. It's a private restaurant in there for millionaires. It's Miss Ruby Wilson's restaurant. When you walk in, it's dim in that motherfucker. You can't see the tables across the floor. But as you walk up on the tables, you see them, and each one of them got one light coming down to the center of the table, and it's like an eggshell yellow dim light bulb in that motherfucker. That way you can't see the people that sits around the table. This is a restaurant for millionaires in Memphis. The only reason why I was able to see it is because the time I was signed to Mr. Dale, part of 3-6 Mafia, the one with ass and titties song. Ass and titties and big booty bitches, huh? That Will Ferrell used in the campaign movie. Yeah, I used to be his protege. So everywhere he went, I went. Everything he bought himself, he bought me. Every time he went shopping at Macy's and Express and Saks Fifth and shit like that, he took me, and I got to get clothes. If he got himself 3 outfits, gray and black, he got me 3 outfits, gray and black. Yeah, these millionaires sit and eat at places where we can't see them. That's what judges do, because they can't live a normal. You know how many judges would be assassinated or killed or hurt very badly if they was caught out in public? You never know who you know. Judge Roach, Carmelo family probably wouldn't even do nothing to him, but he hurt that boy, and he hurt the black race. He hurt the blacks in Texas. Judge Roach can't be caught walking in Texas nowhere. He can't enjoy shit with his wife on the town because he was a judge who took people freedom away, even people didn't deserve it. So I don't give no fuck about, I care about your comment, man, but I give no fuck about Nancy Grace being a prosecutor. She better keep that prosecution shit on the other side. We don't prosecute nothing over here. We just break open the fucking truth. And if breaking open the truth hurts, hey, well, bring the fucking band-aids, the stitch kits, all of that shit. Yeah, billionaires hang out with billionaires and poor. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it's been for a long time. That's how it's been for a long time. But there's some shit in between that people don't talk about. Yeah. Yeah, it's some billionaires that hang out around poor people, believe it or not. I know some billionaires right now that's scamming off poor people. All them fucking take their ass overseas and get around them Ethiopian kids, get around the motherfucking Philippine kids, them African kids in they villages that barely got anything, and they bring their cameras out there, and then they shoot a commercial, and they bring that shit back to the U.S. But they around them poor kids all day. You know why? Because they see that they can make some money off of them, but they ain't gonna get them poor kids not a piece of their fucking money. And then they gonna make the commercial, and they gonna tell us, and they gonna show us, and they gonna say, oh, look at this young African kid, belly poking out over his stomach. Oh, this baby needs help, and we want to help him. 10 cents, a dollar, anything you can give us to help these kids. And then we send the billionaire our money, and the billionaire be over there with the kids and be like, all right, kids, I'll see y'all next time. I come out and film y'all again and let y'all get the bubble gum, the 5 pieces of bubble gum out my, even though it's 20,000 of y'all. Y'all take these 5 pieces of bubble gum. Yeah, it's an American souvenir. And y'all can have this pen. No, this is my cell phone. I can get another one in America, but y'all can't have this one. I need this to Make sure them deals go through from this commercial I just shot over here. Yeah, this shit don't get bought up. Or the millionaires and billionaires that make it out of the hood to become a millionaire and billionaire. How many of them go back around their people and hang out and shit so they can film, so they can be able to film the hood and get them views and them clicks and them likes up. And guess what? When they get them views and them clicks and them likes up, they bring their ass right back to the suburbs and get their YouTube check and don't get their ass shit up in the motherfucking hood for it. And they the ones who got them that shit. How many times have we seen fucking YouTubers and shit hang around homeless people, filming them to make fun of them because of their situation, or because they feel like they still the best singer in the world, or they still the best dancer in the world, and they film that shit and they don't get that homeless person nothing. Let me use Drake for an example, because I love Drake. What's the song? What's the song Drake had? He just bought with the video, with the music video. He got the homeless guy in there. He got the homeless guy dancing through the motherfucking, doing all this shit through the motherfucking hair salon. He got backstage in the strip club and shit. You heard me? This homeless guy would never be let up in that motherfucking strip club or that hair establishment that he was let in. But the billionaire, my nigga Drake. I fuck with you, Drake. You know I fuck with you tough. I buy all your albums and shit. Every time you bring something out, I'm covering it. Man. But Drake used that homeless guy. That homeless guy hung around their ass for hours. The billionaire. The homeless guy is poor. What they doing hanging out with each other? Because the billionaire saw that they could benefit from them. But let me ask you this. Is that homeless guy still homeless that Drake had in this video? Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this. How much money you think Drake done made off that video so far? Huh? With Brandon the dumb motherfucker. Crody! Oh, Crody! Ain't y'all tired of me coming over here whooping y'all ass? Oh, Crody, don't shoot it. Oh, Crody, don't whoop us. Yeah. They used that black homeless guy and probably gave his ass a meal and $40. Huh? A room for one night. That's that, John. Maya, oh Maya, you working ready tonight or nah? Pick up, I need the whole section for tomorrow. Cindy, you know he got them hoes on lock. Come on, man. Y'all know which Drake John I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we can say all day billionaires hang with billionaires, but we know it's not true 100%. Billionaires hang with billionaires, but they hang with millionaires too. They hang with middle class and poor class people anytime they see they can come up off of them. Yo, all of that type shit. We got that clip though. We gonna start it off with that clip. Okay?
The story of Nolan Wells has gripped the nation.
All right, let's get it.
To Horn Island with friends on July 4th and never made home. Tonight, his parents, Christine
Y'all for
and
the
Elmo
likes.
Walmsley,
Thank
and their
y'all for
lawyer,
the
Mr. Ben
subscribes.
Crump,
Don't forget
are
to like
here
the
to share
video and
about the
subscribe
fight for
to
the
the channel
truth of
for
what happened
everybody
Nolan,
that's just
and
coming
also
in.
to tell us who Before we talk about anything related to the case, I want to express my condolences to you, Christine and Elmore, and to just say that you have been so inspirational in the midst of your pain and grief, the way you have advocated
They
for
have.
Nolan. And I just want to ask, how are you doing?
In there, praying a lot,
That's
leaning
Nolan
on our
mom.
family, our faith, our friends, our community that has really just rallied behind us during
Yeah.
this tragedy. But yeah, all we can do right now is just take it day by day. But most importantly, taking care of each other, supporting one another, and just
Yeah.
trying to
Faith.
our emotions kind of control. Because
Yeah, they try and keep the faith, y'all. They try and keep the faith for sure. Dad look in every interview, he looked like he torn from his son. Man, his son passing. That was road dog, man. You can really tell Nolan looking dad, like that's that love that every kid, every young dude want from their dad. You can tell that that man really loved his son and put so much focus and time into helping his son cultivate himself to be greater than he was. Because we know Nolan's dad already said that he had 3 uncles growing up. That's like the family famous, like they fame was the smallest one out of him and his brothers, right? But then he birthed a son, Nolan, that's the size of his uncles. He got that height on him. He loves sports. Yeah, his dad finna be able to live football and live all through his son. And the white boys took that name from his dad.
times we have tragedies like this, you want to be angry sometimes because you just want to, but we've been, I feel like, doing a good job of just keeping each other accountable in that aspect of making sure that we stay level, making decisions.
Yeah, and there's so many amazing stories, Nolan, that delight in the midst of all of this. So I imagine that is helping as well. I want to
It
ask,
is.
tell me, since been doing these interviews, have you heard anything new? What is the latest with the local investigation that is happening along the investigation?
So I'm going to be honest, we have not heard from our local authorities since last Tuesday.
This shit
And that was
crazy.
because I sent a text. I was like, hey, this is Christine, Nolan's mom. Just wanted to get an update. We received a phone call, basically, really no, and that was it. We've heard from no one else.
Wow.
Wow, Mr. Crump, what's your reaction to that? Is there anything that indicates, is that abnormal for you who's worked on many cases?
It certainly is, if you put it in context. I know I had the opportunity to talk with Byron Allen, and Byron and I really had a deep exchange because we talked about if the roles were reversed, this investigation would be handled totally
I
different.
said that. I
I mean,
said that.
you would have had those young men being interrogated. They would have been separated. It would have been like first 48. If you had 3 young.
I said that. If there was 3 young black guys and it was a young white guy, as soon as they came back, it said that he stayed there. And his mama found out that he was missing. And then his mom called the police and reported him missing. They finna come pick up them young 3 black guys right off the bat. Who was the last people with them? They finna bring them in for questioning. When they find his body, before they find out if any foul play was done or anything, they're gonna come back and tell them young black guys that they finna charge them with murder. And they're gonna use that as a scare tactic to see if any of them fall back and snitch on each other. Right? But Nolan done died. Nolan done went missing. Nolan done died. his body has been recovered. Not now one of these white boys been brought in for investigation. Not now one of these white boys been brought in for questioning. And maybe because the judge, the mama judge, is threatening, maybe she threatened the sheriff. I have your fucking badge if you arrest my son or anybody that was with him and that little black boy on that day. I mean, I can pretty much just feel in a, why wouldn't the sheriff do it? If it was a black kid, he would. Why wouldn't he do it? Who's stopping the sheriff? Well, I know in the movies, when I see the movies, the only person that be having power over the sheriffs like that usually be either the citizen that's in the city, like in that city or town, they usually run the sheriff, or it be a judge. Never a prosecutor, never district attorney's office. When you watching a movie or show or something like that, and the sheriff is corrupt, billionaire of the little town or neighborhood, the family that's got the most money run the sheriff, because anything that they do, any death, any overdose at one of they or something like that, they got the sheriff on payroll so he can sweep that shit under the rug, and they family dynasty doesn't die out. Or it's either a corrupt judge, him and his family, or her and her family is running the show, and they're able to control the sheriff because they control the majority in the polls when it comes to voting. If this female judge has a lot of influence over the voting polls, then the sheriff gonna behave because she can put him out of their seat and make his life a fucking living hell. Like after she put him out of their seat and somebody else in their seat, she'll have their ass following him around, pulling him over, harassing his family, his wife, his kids. They don't get no fuck. But that's usually how this shit go down. Exactly, Island Gill. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But for real, shit happen like that when it's somebody running the sheriff. And I think that the sheriff has let somebody get to him and fill up the lining of his pockets. And if this shit have to go too long, Ben Crump them need to get some shit in order. Would have been had a private investigator to investigate the sheriff, the chief of the sheriff's department. Fuck is he talking about? We're gonna just take our time. The best scenario in these type of situations is to take your time. When people take their time, they don't press the issue. Nigga, how much time do you need, sheriff? You the chief of the sheriff's department. You supposed to be the best at this shit. If it's taking your deputies too long, you supposed to be able to step up in that shit. Say, hey, look, do this, do that. Put him on the board. Put him up there. Put him up there. Go pick up this guy. Go pick up that guy. I need you to ask him questions surrounding this event. I need you to ask him questions surrounding this event. I need you to ask him questions surrounding both of those events and why he did this and said this up in the interview. When he said this up in his statement. Yeah. Oh, nigga, so now all of a sudden, Tristan, Tristan Shepard, you were on the beach that day with Nolan. You were one of the friends that were on the beach that day with Nolan. Well, tell us how he died. No. You said boys and Nolan, and you was one of his friends, and you know that there was no foul play, no foul doing. Tristan, tell us how he died then. Since you know all of this, y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Since you know all this shit, Tristan. Now, see, because if my chat list don't say nothing, if Nolan Wells say nothing, if Nolan Wells' dad don't say nothing, if the attorneys don't say nothing, Al Sharpton don't say nothing, if fucking Tyler Perry don't say nothing, Colin Kaepernick don't say nothing, if don't none of these motherfuckers say nothing to you, Tristan, I'ma say something to you. So I need to know if you were so called on that island that day with Nolan, what the fuck happened to him? Since you want us to stop questioning the white boys and you want to throw the narrative for them and their parents and Katie and her mom, then you tell us what happened. Now, you said you was there and you witnessed Nolan being there and having fun, and you don't know why people would be bashing you and the white boys, and y'all just his friends, and y'all just want to know, y'all just want justice for Nolan. Well, y'all were the last people with him. And I know if I returned home and I was one of the people that was with him and everybody's looking at the white boys, my grandma will whoop my ass until I tell her what happened to Nolan. Because she's going to say there's no way that you was with Nolan and them white boys on that damn boat and on that island that day. And he came up missing and these white boys ain't saying nothing. And you don't know nothing either. She gonna be like, no, all of y'all know something, but you know what? You my child, so I'm gonna whoop your ass until you tell me what happened to this boy parents, what happened to him, and give his mom and dad some closure. Yeah, my grandma gonna whoop my ass until the truth comes out of me. Okay, grandma, okay, grandma. Okay, grandma, okay. The white boys killed him. Yeah, I'm gonna tell grandma everything. So Tristan, what happened, Tristan? What happened? Cause we know you ain't really Nolan's friend. You ain't really Nolan's best friend or childhood friend. We know you didn't grow up with him. Now we know you shocked. We know you shocked as fuck, Tristan, that we know that you didn't grow up with Nolan. That you're not his childhood friend. That you're not even one of his best friends. We know this because his mom told us. Now, you think because you throw the narrative that we not going to be listening to his parents no more and what they got to say and believe what they say about their son is true? No, we going to listen to the parents even harder because we see you trying to throw the narrative. But we still got a question. Who are you throwing narrative for? Who contacted you and told you to do this for them? Yeah, who contacted you and told you to say, yeah, that is Nolan at the pool party? When that's you, nigga. That's you. We know that's you, Tristan. That's you at the pool party. Yeah, they told everybody else to kind of squat down when you're standing around him so he looks tall like Nolan did. And they put that Party City wig on you, that fro. And they kind of combed it through the middle so it can look like Nolan's hair. Huh? And they told you around to the back like this, but don't look straight into the camera. Nigga, if there was Nolan in that pool, he would have looked darker than that night. Nolan was a lighter tone, but he was not what you call red or light skinned like his mom. He was brown skinned. His dad was dark skinned. His mom was light skinned. He was brown skinned. Dad was dark skinned. He was a mixture of his mom and dad color. Right? Is way lighter than Nolan. He's Nolan's mom's color. So if we saw Trisha in the pool at nighttime with a wig on, with a fro wig on, He would appear in the dark. He would appear to that Nolan is in the light, that brown skin color. If Nolan brown skin was in a pool at nighttime or 1 a.m. in the morning, he would appear to be my fucking color, dark, because his skin is brown. It's not gonna glow in the dark, it's gonna set in the dark. We know that there was Tracestin in the pool with a wig on. If there was Nolan in the pool, everybody that was in the pool would have been drawn to Nolan, drawn around Nolan. We know that Nolan was the star of this neighborhood. Who else the fuck came out of this neighborhood that went into the D League in the NFL after that? Nobody. Nobody since his three uncles. His dad big brothers. Because his dad said he from that area. No, they from Panola. So they from the next town over or some shit like that. But who else was coming out of that neighborhood that was a prospect for the NFL? Nobody but Nolan. He was on the radios. We already know the white boys didn't play sports. And them black boys obviously didn't play sports. Tracestin didn't play sports, or the other young black dude that Nolan mom said was his friend that took the interview on TMZ. We know these folks didn't play sports. We know the young black dude didn't play sports because every time Nolan had a game, the young black dude was there to watch him on TMZ, the one that was on TMZ. Trendo, we seen Tracestin at one party. It was a house party. Him and Nolan took a picture in the kitchen. I said that like Katie mom standing behind them on their left side, right? And on their right side, it was two girls. This proves my theory. If there was Nolan in the pool, everybody would have been drawn around him like fans. Watch this. The two white girls that were standing in the background, they hadn't had a picture with Nolan. We ain't never seen them in a picture with Nolan. So what did they do when he took the picture with Tracestin in the kitchen? They photobombed it. They said they were standing in the back behind Nolan over his right shoulder. They was like this. That shows you how popular Nolan was, how big he was, and how much everybody knew. Hey, this the next thing, the first thing out of our neighborhood, but the next up for the NFL. It was Nolan. Why you think Katie is so fucking pretty and her mom didn't have no problem with her talking to a black boy? Why? Why do you think Katie is so pretty and her mom, and they rich, and her mom didn't have no problem with her talking to a black boy? She would have had a problem with talking to a black boy if he was a thug. Nolan wasn't a thug. Nolan was a prospect that was headed for the NFL. His daughter, Katie Nolan. He's finna be in the fucking NFL. Yeah, marry a NFL star. Yeah. Katie, your mom, yeah, she put you on him. People saying, yeah, Nolan was probably finna try to hit her, try to bust her down. Hell, Nolan was a virgin. I can tell by the way he look in his pictures. I can tell by what Katie said. Nolan didn't want to stay. Probably tried to put it on him. And he didn't want to mess up he had going for the D League and going into college. Because a good dad with a head on his shoulder, telling him it's plenty of fish in the sea. You don't have to worry about these females around here. They're going to come and they're going to go. You just remain focused until you go. Then you start thinking about some females. So Nolan liked her, true enough. But I believe Nolan just wanted to chill with her so he could get her number and maybe get something going in the future. After he gets done with all this football shit and he has some time to rest, if we can get something kicked, we'll get something kicked back up. But for right now, listen, I'm not trying to be too tired. I came with the guys. I don't want them waiting this shit on me. You know, everybody likes you. You know, I don't want anyone jealous. Feel like I've been spending too much time with you. So I'm going to go back to the boat with the guys. That's why I'm telling people. I'm like, look, he was with Katie. He took pictures with Katie. He took pictures with Katie. That's one of the main things that the white boy wanted to wipe out of his phone was them pictures of him and Katie together. Because if he posts those pictures on his social media, then everybody that knows that boy with the boat, with his dad boat, that likes Katie, everyone will know, nigga, you ain't got no chance with Katie. She like Nolan. Nolan got pictures with her on his Snapchat. She got pictures of her with Nolan on her Snapchat. So he had to. Where he felt like he had to push up on. And I believe when Nolan ass got back, the white boy was pissed. And he was like, you fucked Katie, didn't you? Nah, bro. I mean, I ain't do it. You mean to tell me Katie fucking wanted to do you and you didn't want to do her? Man, look, I didn't want Katie. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel for those of you who coming in. And Nolan was telling him, man, I like her, but I don't like her like that. I'm not trying to have sex with someone and get someone pregnant right before I prospect for the NFL and go into the D League. Bro, I'm focused. No, you fucking not. We're going to see how focused you are. You're going to tell me the truth today. And he took off. They took off on that motherfucking boat. Took Nolan out there on that motherfucking water. Why he questioning him. Why he mad and drunk at the same time. That's why he woke up and said, I can't remember anything, dude. I was fucking stoned. No, you remember. And then watch this. The dad said he went over there to the house and he asked for the keys. He said, little ass, the one that I told y'all that I believe did it, right? It was 2 white boys on one side of Nolan and 1 white boy on the other side. Where it was 2 white boys on the side, the one on the inside that was leaned back with his arm around Nolan with the beer in his hand, I said, that's the one, because that's the one who dad boat that is. I said, yeah, he's the one. He's the arrogant one. So I can imagine him being very pissed and want Katie and mad that Nolan already been gone 2-3 hours with Katie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if he can't have Katie, can't nobody have Katie. And this the bad thing about it. This why I say Katie and her mom guilty too. Katie, no dude liked her. And she damn near know what happened to Nolan. Dude damn near told her out of arrogance, yeah, I fucking killed him. And you better not say nothing. And she told her mom, and her mom told his parents, and they said, how the fuck I... Yeah, that white boy grounded in some stupid ass shit, nigga. You grounded for taking a body, taking a life, nigga. You finna go to fucking jail when we break this shit open. Well, we done already broke it open, but when the officials break this shit open like we already have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nigga, you going to jail. Yeah, can't nobody make me stop saying these white boys that killed Nolan, because that's what happened. That's what God gave us fucking free will for, to use our common sense with these laws that he has made and that man have made, for us to be able to decipher through them fucking laws and tell ourselves, hey, now this sounds pretty. Yeah, I should fucking obey this law. Yeah, this law, yeah, this is some racist shit. Yeah, this is some liberal shit. Yeah, this is some renegade shit. Yeah, this is some dictator shit. Yeah, we supposed to be able to take situations for ourselves and analyze this shit and figure it out without knowing the answer. So that's what we do here. We figure this shit out without knowing the answer. And guess what? When the answer come out, we be like, damn, we was right the whole time. Just like when we hopped on this shit and we found this shit out about Tracestin. We was the first people to air it out, right? Go right now and see what time yesterday did we drop our live. Last night, early this morning. We went 3 hours and something. Damn near 4 hours we live streamed. While everybody was asleep, we was up on this fucking channel breaking this shit down. Then when everybody woke up, they slowly but surely start. Oh, Nolan's mom said that she doesn't know Tracestin. Yeah, but they watched our live first. Yeah, they saw our live, they saw what we said, then they mimicked it. Shout out to all the YouTubers that mimicked us here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they mimicked us. Yeah, Steven Supreme, this shit, man. Look, we gonna analyze this shit. We know it. If I can say some shit and it sound reasonable to more than 20 people in the chat at the time, to more than half of people in the chat, if it sounds reasonable, it is reasonable. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to push that shit over to the side and keep on speculating with everybody else and saying, oh, yeah, there must have been Nolan in the pool at 1 a.m. Bitch, y'all know there wasn't no motherfucking Nolan in the pool at 1 a.m. when he was already fucking dead. And Nolan ain't even that bright skinned at nighttime in the motherfucking pool. The skin color in that picture was filtered out. The skin color, it's like they had that fucking chrome effect on it to darken up the lightness of the skin around the edges of the shoulder. I'm like, that ain't fucking Nolan. Nolan ain't that fucking light skinned at night. He looked darker at night, my nigga, especially in some motherfucking pool lights in a dark ass backyard. I said, for all we know, that could have been a fucking AI picture. It wasn't. Say, okay, it wasn't Shepard. Just say it wasn't. I still believe the nigga was in a Party City wig. I mean, white people, they love Party City. And they have 70s costume parties and shit like that all the time in rich neighborhoods. Come on now. So who's not to say that they didn't? Oh fuck! We got a fro from the last 70s party. Tracestin, if you put it on and we cut it down a little bit and we put the part down the middle and you take your shirt and stand in the pool and everybody kind of squat around you, we can make a picture and we take the picture in our pool, right? We take the pool at 1 p.m. at 1 a.m. That way they can't say that it's not real because it was taken in our pool. As far as I know, you took a picture of your empty naked pool and did an AI thing with the chat GBT and asked chat GBT, put Nolan Wells, young black man that died, with surrounded by white kids in this swimming pool. And you know what ChatGPT AI shit did? That's exactly what it did, my nigga. They took the Carmelo Anthony picture when the prison cut his hair off and shaved him bald head. How you think they took that picture and made his head a watermelon head? You take it, picture, you put it in the AI app, and you ask the AI to do whatever the fuck you do to the picture, and it's gonna do it. It's gonna fucking do it. That's what's so fucking stupid and ugly about all this fucking AI shit. That's what's so stupid and ugly about all this fucking AI shit. And you think we for it? Hell to the fuck no. Tristan, you think we gonna fall for you dressing up in a fro, hopping in a pool with some white boys, talking about you Tristan at a pool party, you talking about you Nolan at a pool party at 1 a.m. in the morning when we know he was already dead? You got us fucked up. Tristan, them 3 white boys who they still won't disclose information, even though these niggas is criminals. Delete those. Yeah, deleting their whole social media account. But I'm gonna do some deep diving. If Katie ain't deactivated her page by now, I'm gonna do some deep diving. And can I go through Katie's page and see can I find who these white boys is, what they real names are, because they don't disclose them on the internet nowhere. That shows you the power of a judge. Yeah, these folk, the nigga mama is a judge. That shows you her fucking power. That she can disclose these folks' information and they involved in a homicide. They involved in a murder. She can disclose these folk information and their identities, and on top of that, keep them from being bought in for any questioning for the murder that they most likely committed. Most likely, these white boys killed Nolan. Just like the white boy that killed the black kid, pushed him in the river. Said they was all supposed to be going swimming and fishing together. He pushed that boy. I believe that boy took his clothes off. He was supposed to be in the military. Black boy took his clothes off, and the other 2 white kids didn't take the clothes off. And they said, "You jump in first." And he said, Hell nah, I thought we was all jumping in together. You see how fast that water moving? I'm not jumping in unless not jumping in with y'all. And the 19-year-old in the water. Guess what? When he went in that water, that current, because he went like this falling. Boom! Hit the water. He still hits the current, pulled that boy down in that river. You know what the white boy did? He said he ran with the juvenile white boy. They ran. He threw the black kid's clothes into the bush in the tree lining. So the kid's clothes was just hanging on the bushes and the trees right there up on the bridge. Then the juvenile was questioned by the police after they found this out. And the juvenile admitted that the older white boy, the 19-year-old, told him, take the black kid's phone and throw it out the window while they was driving. That kid. But tell me why he's locked up and he's only been charged with tampering with evidence, which he could receive up to 20 years, right? But they need to separate it. That's 2 different pieces of evidence that he tampered with, and he influenced somebody else to tamper with some evidence, coerced somebody else in tampering with some evidence. right? From a murder that he committed. Now all they gotta do is sink the juvenile and make him tell. The juvenile finna tell, and it's finna come out that the white boy pushed that black boy off the bridge. That current was moving so fucking fast that the news channel was filming off the side of the bridge. That shit was moving like the Mississippi River in front of Harbor Town. Fast current. A current that pulls down trees and tree branches from the shore off into the water, that the current is moving so fast, 40 and 60 miles per hour and shit, and it's hitting those tree lines, and them trees just constantly leaning off into the Mississippi River till the current breaks the tree out the fucking ground. Yeah, that black boy died. And his family stood up in a press conference and wanted justice and wanted transparency, like what Ben Crump talking about. Yeah, this shit happening. Now this shit happening every other day. We done had a couple of black boys die by some white boys' hands, and they still ain't received justice for it yet. Before I just went live, I just heard about another young black boy dying. Another young black boy dying from Mississippi over the 4th of July holiday. With a wall. This shit crazy. This shit is crazy. Y'all want to talk about race and shit? Nigga, you made it about race when you killed somebody that wasn't your race. It don't matter what the fuck a white man do to me. If I kill a white man right now, it's gonna be about race. And I know this. My people gonna make it about race. And he's white. Now, if I kill a black nigga, it ain't gonna be about no race. My people ain't gonna feel no type of way. His people gonna feel no type of way. Besides wanting to probably shit like that, but if they knew who he was and he was an evil ass motherfucker, his people gonna be like, damn, that's what happened. I knew he was gonna die like that. If I kill a white person right now, though, it's gonna be about race because I wasn't white. It's gonna draw questions. It's gonna draw questions. Why did he have to kill that white man? What did he do to want to kill that white man? Or what did that white man do to him to make him want to kill him? Who the aggressor? All of these are racial questions because we were two different races. Not because of murder. Yeah, that shit becomes racial when you're two different races. Ain't no race question gotta be asked. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful that Al Sharpton and them supporting him, but nigga, y'all thankful that Al Sharpton and Ben Crump is supporting the Nolan Wells family. But let me say it again, niggas, y'all weak. Al Sharpton weak. Ben Crump weak. Nigga, if Malcolm X was still out, cause he ain't holding his tongue. If he feel like them white boys killed Nolan Wells, Malcolm X gonna get up and make a speech on the press conference, and he's gonna say, them white boys killed Nolan Wells. And we demand justice. The sheriff department won't do it. If the state senate won't do it, if the state, we are gonna go to Washington D.C. and we talking to President Trump, and we're gonna make President Trump do something about it. And guess what? Before he even make it to Washington D.C., President Trump, he is a very transparent president. He loves social media. He has brought us and social media into the White House so we able to see everything. Nigga, we ain't never seen this many papers and documents get signed when laws get passed. We hear about the law getting passed. We like, okay, I wonder when they gonna pass the law. We ain't gotta wonder that when Trump up in the White House. I wonder when they gonna pass the law. And the news come on the next morning. Trump getting ready to sign the treaty to pass the law about such and such. Thank you, Trump. Yeah, Trump would have got his ass right off the back the next morning. Yes, I'm signing this waiver. We need more transparency with this case. I've spoken with Malcolm X, a civil rights activist and leader for civil rights. I've spoke with them, and look, they want more transparency. So I'm challenging the sheriff's department and the chief of the sheriff's department out there in such and such Mississippi to up this investigation before I have to send U.S. military and federal agents from the FBI there to cover this investigation. Yeah, nigga, I heard what you said, Ben. Y'all can't do nothing. Y'all can't arrest nobody. But nigga, you can contact the White House and say, hey, look at the facts. Look at the comments. Look at what social media is saying. Look, we don't want this to get as far as a race. Pull a race war card, nigga. We don't want this to get that far. Trump, we need you to step in. We need you to threaten that you're going to send our U.S. military and our FBI out there to investigate this case if they don't pick it up and if they don't get some answers. You're going to send them out here to question. You're going to send, goddammit, U.S. military, the Navy and the National Guard. Good investigations when it comes to water. Do good investigation underwater. God damn it, the FBI has satellite imagery. Look, everything on this earth is being recorded via satellite. So, you know, when you go on your navigation in your phone and you tell them you want the idle view, you want the idle view of the street or the location that you're looking at, right? It gives you a pre-recorded view to where you can look at your auntie house, her address, and you can take your finger and do this, and it will take the camera all the way around the side, the back, and the other side of your auntie house where you can see every window. So you can't tell me that the FBI can't subpoena the imagery from the satellite that's over the Gulf of Mississippi and see where Nolan Wells' body drifted from, what part of the ocean his body drifted from and hit back on that shore. They can do it. The FBI can do this shit. How do you think they figure out where the cocaine drifted onto Miami shore came from? Which cartel they came from? What route the cartel took on the speedboats to get as close to Miami as they could before they dropped the load. What did they use? How did they get that footage? If they wasn't out there all night on the black water recording the cartel, where did they get the footage from? It's pre-recorded in the satellite. Satellite got me right now. Record me on my motherfucking patio. They can get this imagery. How do you think we know where terrorist leaders are? You think it's just all recorded from drones? Before we send the drones out to record exactly where the terrorist leader is, how do you think we know? Satellite intel. Okay? So we got the US government watching. We got CIA, they watching from the satellites. Right? They constantly watching pre-record every 5 minutes, the pre-recorded footage from the satellite. They like, oh, 5 minutes ago, we just picked up terrorist leader such and such in the Gulf of the terrain. They like, you sure we did? They like, yeah. They like, send an SPP drone out there to make sure and confirm that it was him. They confirming that it was him on a drone from satellite imagery that picked up all 6 of his car entourage coming into this villa. When they send a drone out there, they like, oh no, this was a diversion. He's not even in the 6-car entourage. They like, if it was a diversion and they had his 6-car entourage, they say, well, maybe it was a diversion. Where did we first pick up this 6-car entourage? We picked it up in Kuwait. They like, okay, we picked it up in the desert of Kuwait. Okay, what 5 do we have roads that surround the desert of Kuwait? We got 5 main roadways. 5 main roadways. Check all 5 main roadways and see, do we pick up any kind of vehicle or any kind of movement. When they check all 5 of them roadways, on one of them roadways, they pick up a single car movement. That's gotta be him. Send the drone out there on there and into that car and see, can we get an image and see if that's him. And they send that drone out there and they find out that that's fucking him. The satellites, we can do this shit. So they can't tell me that they don't know what the fuck happened to Nolan. Use the fucking satellite. Call the FBI. Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, call the FBI. Nolan Wells' parents, if they don't call them, because the FBI is the only people that can help us right now get past all this sheriff shit, and they playing with us. We ain't finna let them play with no more young black kids. We ain't finna let no more young white kids get away with murders and think that it's okay. Because that's how we create serials. That's how we create Murdoch murders. Huh? That's how we create them. Shut your stupid ass up, Chris Long. You look like you eat grass, you stupid fucking fool. I said, nigga, if the shit don't happen, if they keep on bullshitting, about this boy body, and the FBI have to step in. What the fuck you think the FBI is gonna use, stupid ass? The FBI use satellites all the fucking time, nigga. Stupid ass dummy. You sound like a fucking dummy. Get the fuck out of my chat, fool. Fuck wrong with you. We talking about something serious here. You dumb as fuck. So you think that our government allows, our government allows the internet, Google, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, the owners of Google, you think that they allow them to use the satellite for navigation, for us to be able to see navigation in the streets, in the roads and shit like that, but you think they don't use it for investigation? You a dummy. You think our U.S. military don't use satellites to investigate? You think they just use drones? You think that our military, because these big ass drones that they use run off fuel, my nigga. So you think our military is gonna use a fucking drone off a motherfucking Navy ship and fly that drone 10,000 motherfucking miles to see if a terrorist is where they think he is before they try to bomb his ass? You think they gonna fly that drone 10,000 miles, run that fuel out, knowing the drone might not make it back to the motherfucking base before they use a satellite to see? The satellite is where they get the imagery from, dummy. A satellite costs billions of dollars. Why do you think a satellite costs billions of dollars? Because it's not just a motherfucking floating telescope. It's a ship. People live on satellites, nigga. I bet you didn't even know people were in satellites. The satellites that's in the air. I bet you didn't even know NASA got a whole motherfucking base inside of the satellites. People actually live in there. Did you see the movie Geostorm, you fucking fool? Everybody shout out Chris Nolan. He's fucking dumb. He don't believe that the FBI use satellites. He don't believe that these satellites are big ass telescopes that we use that our government used to record us. Like, you gotta be the dumbest nigga in the world to believe that our government don't use these satellites, when they show you that they allow big corporations like Google to use these satellites. Our government makes the satellites. They make satellites for. Hold on, Chris Lund. You tell us what the fuck they made satellites. Our government makes satellites for just to orbit in the fucking air. The motherfucking satellites that we have, they orbit around the earth, nigga. They don't orbit in outer space. So what do we use these satellites for? They orbit around the earth. Do you think we use them to figure out what the weather is? No, nigga, we use them to control the weather. We use them to control our people, nigga. We use them to keep an eye. The government use it to keep an eye on us, nigga. Every fucking AI bot in this world is connected to the satellites. Siri, all of them, they connected to the satellites, nigga. How do you think they be able to pull so fast? How do you think Siri get information from China, nigga, when we ain't got no wiring? We ain't got no underground wiring through the fucking ocean from China over here. How do we get that information? How do you think Siri's able to, if you say in China serving compared to the McDonald's in America, do you think Siri, how do you think she get that information if it's not already online? Through satellite imagery, fool. If you ask her about an address in Hong Kong and say, there's a McDonald's on such and such, show me a picture of it. You know what Siri's gonna do? Gonna show you a pre-recorded picture, the latest pre-recorded picture from satellite imagery of that fucking McDonald's in Hong Kong. So shut your dumb ass up. Do I have to teach you everything? Yeah, let me go ahead and break some shit down, stupid, ignorant ass person that don't believe that our fucking FBI uses satellites. How do the FBI be able to bust people overseas. Okay, watch this. John F. Kennedy Jr. is our Secretary of Defense. Because I watch politics, I watch the news, I read the newspaper, I do all of this shit. I'm a real analytical motherfucker. Yeah. We finna get real technical with this. When President Trump formed a team with our Secretary of Defense, John F. Kennedy Jr., and he teamed up with the FBI, the DEA, the Homeland Security, and all of this type shit. There was a doctor that had a Medicare scam that was over $90 million, no, over $32 billion. This nigga bought a compound in Turkey. We didn't know where he was, nigga. He bought a compound in Turkey. And he took all of those billions of dollars that he scammed out of Medicaid in a hospital that he owned. He owned a hospital in LA. He took all that scam and he went over there to Turkey, bought a compound, and he was living. Right? He got offshore accounts and everything. We couldn't track him. We put it out in the public. Somebody said, one of our people from the embassy over there in Turkey said, we might have seen somebody like this. What did our FBI do? They plugged into the satellite imagery and looked up this Turkey compound through satellite. They saw that he was actually on the compound. But when they saw that he was on the compound, the picture that they had, the image had, was from an hour ago. So the froze pictures that they had from the satellite image showed that this billionaire that owned hospitals here in America, that committed this Medicaid fraud, was on his compound. The pictures that they had was from a fucking hour ago. Because the satellite is recording repulsively. But it's not a live feed of recording. So every hour, the previous feed uploads. So when they saw, okay, he was on the compound an hour ago, let's see if he really, because they didn't want to send Turkey law enforcement over there because they didn't want to spook the guy. When they come for him, they wanted to be able to catch the guy because he's going to have to pay these billions of dollars back. When they sent the drone over there to shoot it and confirm that it was this guy, right? This drone was to hover 3,000 some feet in the sky and zoom down on this nigga compound to a window where they could see an image of him. And this is what a drone did. The fuck you think them $1 billion satellites do? But enough of that. What's up, Lala? Shout out to my girl, Lala Go Harder. Yeah, man. But enough of that. Enough of talking about whatever the fuck his name was, something Lawn. I can't remember. Chris Lawn. Thank you, William Lynch. Yeah, we had to get on his ass. Had to get on his stupid ass. Talk about satellites don't record all day and the feds can't you. Nigga, who do you think the FBI and the CIA them is, nigga? How do you think they get all of this shit, nigga? Literally, the government be on a satellite nigga. Zoom in. Zoom in from the satellite all the way to right here where I am. And then they can push voice and that motherfucker will zoom through and it'll be like a funnel. You will hear the airplane sound as it's zooming past the airplane. You will hear the birds, the trees, the wind blowing the trees, and then it'll zoom in and dissect my voice from out of all of those sounds that it just fucking passed through. And the feds will be able to hear exactly what I'm saying right now. Through satellite, nigga. Those satellites are very fucking powerful. Nigga, I said it cost billions of dollars. Satellites cost billions of dollars. If they break a piece to the satellite, a wing to the satellite, you know how big that wing can fit over 1,000 people inside of it, shoulder to shoulder. Nigga, these satellites are the size of 4 Navy military ships. Just think of a satellite being a T-shape. Then take 40 ass military ships and T-shape them on the ocean. And pick the ocean. That's how big a satellite is, my nigga. These things are powerful. And if you want to be dumb, if you don't want to use your common sense, if you want to allow the government to show you everything they can do with satellites, guns, and bombs, and all of this shit, and you don't want to believe the government, you just want to sit back and say, oh no, I don't believe they can look at me from a satellite in the sky. Keep on telling yourself that, my guy. Keep on telling yourself. Better yet, tell them cartels that we keep on catching to keep on telling they fucking self that, because they ain't got no motherfucking touchscreen phones over there that the cartel is using. Them niggas using satellite phones and motherfucking burner phones. So how the fuck is we getting images of the cartel and how they move and they shipment loads of cocaine and heroin and fentanyl? How is we getting this? How is we getting image of them in the jungles and shit, in the communities and shit, enslaving they people to press up keys of cocaine? And how is we getting these images? Because there ain't nobody in a cartel out there with a camera like, hey, cartel boss, I just want to take a couple of pictures and get there. Get the shit from the satellite military. Mostly from satellite. Because in our military, unless we know everything that they're going to be. So how do we get that information? Satellites, my nigga. We not even sending a special team out there unless we know the whole layout of the compound. How do we get the whole layout of the compound? Air you, nigga. Fucking fools. Chris Lund got a nigga started. Huh? Chris Lund got a nigga started and I had to get on his ass. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm finna roll up my blunt.
Dead. And so what Elmore and Christine and all of us have been saying, we want a zealous investigation for our son too. We want you to do for our son what you would do for anybody's son and get to the bottom of this, because it's not adding up. And the fact that it seems like it's such a laissez-faire investigation. We take whatever they say as the gospel. We don't, press them on anything. We don't cross-examine them on anything. They say.
And that's what I said. You heard what Ben Crump just said. We take everything they say as the gospel. We don't anything. We don't. Ain't this what I fucking just said? Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, y'all soft in a motherfucker. Nigga, go to Washington, D.C. Tell them you want a transparent case. Challenge Trump, nigga. Challenge Trump for a transparent case. Challenge the Fed to jump up in this bitch and put these niggas on blast and say, yeah, this ain't no fucking transparent case. You niggas ain't been trying to go through everything fucking thoroughly. You niggas taking your time trying to allow this shit. But guess what? As long as Blockstar MS Analytics know about this Nolan Wells case being open, it's gonna remain open. Cause we gonna shout it to the top of our motherfucking lungs. Justice for Nolan Wells, my nigga.
Nolan said, I volunteer that I'm just going to stay behind. And I'm not even going to ask for my cell phone. They just take that as a grain of salt. And young person they raised, he would not have done those things, but they have articulated that over and over again.
And why they keep articulating?
The local officials, the boys on the boat, everybody to be held to account.
Why y'all keep letting?
I'd like to ask Elmore, you have spoken about conversations that you had with Nolan about staying with a group, you know, always keeping in contact. Can you open up a little bit more about that father-son coaching that often happens with dad and boys about how to move about particularly powerful?
I think I can really thank my mother for that, because I grew up with a lot of cousins, and I was the smallest of the bunch, so I had to kind of defend myself against them a lot. But the thing that always stood out with us, with my family, was if we come together, we stay together. If one cousin fight, everyone fights. And I preach that same thing to my kids. If somewhere with someone, you come back with them, no matter what. It's don't let a girl separate you from there. It's plenty of girls. You see one here, you see one there.
Don't let a girl separate you from your safety net. So that's why, even though I say Katie is as guilty as everybody else, that's why I say she ain't lying about this shit. Because that's Nolan. He's not gonna stay with her because his dad tells him, don't let a girl separate you from your safety net. Your safety net is what you come with, who you come with. And she said, he told her, listen, I'm not gonna stay with you. I like you, but I'm finna go back to the boat with the guys I came with, because they probably leaving in a little while. Right? He go back to the boat. They pissed. Yeah, white boy, he on his dad boat. He like, nigga, I bought you, nigga, to get yourself the bitches, nigga. Nigga, I like Katie and you know it. You fucked her, didn't you? Nah, bro, I ain't do that. You fucking lying. He lying, man. Yeah, he going off and everything. I can see it now. The same white boy that sat on side of him, where it was two white boys. One of them had a beer in his hand, leaned back with his arm around Nolan. I said, yeah, that's the one who did it. That's the one who dad boat they was in. He real privileged. He think everything belongs to him in their school and in their city. And the white girls, they don't like that. They don't like an arrogant white boy that's spoiled, that didn't have to work for nothing that he got. He really ain't got too much. Everything he got is his dad's. My dad this, my dad that. White girls hate that. Now, if that white boy played baseball or something, he would have probably had a chance against Nolan. And he would have most likely been getting a scholarship. But these are white kids that are rich, privileged, They love to fucking do drugs and get drunk, and they try to influence everybody around them to do drugs and get drunk with them so they can humiliate them. But as soon as they pissed, then they become racist. I had a friend, a so-called friend that was like that was white. And I knocked his ass out with one hit. I was finna beat his ass. Like, I was finna beat his face in because he called me a nigga. I got no problem with my white friends calling me a nigga, but it's how he called me a nigga. See, we wasn't just cooling it, and he was like, "Hey, bro, nigga, you talking too much. Nigga, pay me the blunt." It wasn't damn one of those. It was some, "Nigga, you over my house. That's why my fucking granddad racist and hate you, nigga." What, bitch, nigga? Started around my, what, bitch, nigga? Everybody started trying to hold me back. No. Down, don't do it. Calm down, don't do it. And then while they was trying to hold me back, he came up behind them, all up in my face. He said, "Yeah, I said again, nigga." And before I knew it, I read, and I swear to God, he fell and he never got back up. And I was still ready to get on his ass, try and fight through everybody, but they was holding me back. And when his parents came, said, "Jerry, I can't believe you did that." I said, "I can't believe he said that." His mom said, "What did he say?" I said, "He called me nigger with an ER at the end about 3 fucking times and said that's why his granddad racist, because he hate us niggas." Yeah, guess what happened? His family apologized to me. They want to invite me over and cook for me. For all I know, y'all could be inviting me over to cook me, motherfucker, and get rid of me because I just knocked your son out for showing me his true colors, which most likely mean it's y'all true colors too. Because this whole time I told you what he did, you still fuck I'ma come over there for. No, I'm not coming over there, and he's not my fucking friend no more. He'll never be my friend. And guess what? Don't never let me see his ass in Memphis because every time I see him, I'm gonna knock his ass out again. For every black person he might have called a nigga before he called me one, or even after. Because he think I ain't around no more. He done moved to another part of the city. Boy, when I see you, I'ma found your ass. Hit you so hard you're gonna be scared to call the police. Yeah, that's how hard I like to hit niggas that play around with that racial shit. Cause not now time did when you call me a nigga, not now time did I say cracker or he's a KKK or some shit like that. Like, like trying to say something back at him to call, like, to be racist as far as calling him out of his name. You know what I'm saying? Not one time did I do that shit. Right? So me hitting him and knocking his ass out shows how much of a bigger man that I was. Because see, those type of words can kill a person. Like it can kill a person mindset. It can kill a person heart and capability to love. Right? That's why I tell people I hated Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King didn't do nothing but lead black people into beatings and brawls. That's what he did. He led our black people, and not now time did he have blood on now one of his suits. But every time the news covered his shit, he's standing over there with his little bodyguards. Our people tore the fuck up, laying across the curb, shirts torn, dog bites in them, water hoses little kid shit, thrown in paddy wagons on top of each other like fucking caged dogs in the back of a fucking dog truck. And this nigga was on the front line. He was walking and marching in front of every black person. What do we want? Freedom. What do we want now? Now. And every time they made it to a motherfucking bridge, especially through Montgomery, Alabama, it was a big ass presence of police, K9s, and fire department firemen with the water hoses on the other side. And guess what? Martin Luther King used to march all the way up to them folks and then step over to the side. They would never touch him, but they would always touch the fucking people he brought with him. Hold on, let me rephrase that. They never touch him and his bodyguards, but they always fucking group of poor people, middle class black people, and some wealthy black people and some wealthy white people that he brought with him. They'd always touch their ass. Now you tell me how you lead you lead such a mass group of people that they call it the Million Man March because it looked like a million men. And 999,000 men got beat. But you was the millionth man that didn't. Fuck is wrong with you? But you was in front of everybody. How does that make sense, chat? You was in front of everybody. You led your people freedom marching, freedom walking. You got on a black suit. These folk got on their church clothes, they little Sunday dresses, uniform shirts. Men got on suits. When they get done getting their ass whooped, they ain't got on nothing but some dress pants and a ripped shirt. What happened to their suit, three-piece vests? What happened to these women blouses? Why they got on bras, torn bras? God damn it, ripped dresses, raped, thrown in jail, beaten. Then when you want to give it up, and I'm gonna tell my what's been happening, they say no, don't do that. Listen. They know something is going on. People are starting to say that I never get beat or they never put their hands on me and I never been locked up. Well, guess what? Throw another parade. Throw another march. We're going to lock you up this time. But when they locked his ass up, they had us in the holding cell. Hundreds of us packed in that motherfucker like sardines. And they had him in a holding cell across from us with nobody else in it. Taking pictures and shit. Y'all remember the picture from when Martin Luther King was locked up? He was sitting in the cell across doing this. Nigga, what the fuck you thinking about? Thinking about in jail? How many more black people you gonna lead into these brutal ass beatings? Nigga, because at this time, slavery, so-called, but a lot of white people didn't like that slavery ended. They still loved beating black people asses and taking black people down here. So they used a motherfucker like Martin Luther King. Yeah, mislead your people as long as you get them so we can beat them and we can kill them and keep their numbers from growing because they saying they out of they freed from slavery now. Putting them in cages. My nigga, we gonna give you the Nobel Peace Prize. We gonna give you, goddamn it, the Purple Star. We gonna give you every award that can be given. And when you die, this legacy that you built of getting your people beat and mauled and brutally fucking killed, guess what? We'll plaster it all over the U.S. We'll make street names after you. We'll name expressways after you. We'll name airports and oil factories after you. Martin, he like, man, it sounds nice for my family legacy. Yeah, it sound real nice for your family legacy until Rockstar Emmett showed up and put your ass in front of all the black people and let them know what you was really doing. Yeah, we give credit to Malcolm X, motherfuckers like him. We give credit to Muhammad Ali, motherfuckers like him. See, Muhammad Ali wasn't in the fight. He wasn't in the fight to fight black men, even though they put black men against him. Muhammad Ali was in the fight type because black men used to get hung for so he became the best boxer that he could. And he fucked with the Nation of Islam, who taught him what this skin color mean, not religion. I'm not talking about the religion and shit, but Nation of Islam taught him what this skin color mean, right? But his whole point be the best boxer out there because uh black men won world champions and shit, those titles and shit. So he got in the game to put his hands on a white man and beat a white man because it was illegal to, as they was concerned. Black men get hung for it. But if you playing the sport with me, white man, I can put my hands on you, whoop the shit out of you, and not get hung for it. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't protect himself. Malcolm X didn't need nobody behind him that he couldn't or that couldn't protect themselves. And watch this. If they couldn't protect themselves and wanted to be behind Malcolm X, he knew his laws. That's why he had every man bearing arms. Yeah, when they show up for black people, when they show up to the marches and shit that people doing alone, Luther King, because they imitate Martin Luther King and they getting their ass beat, and Malcolm X heard about it and he in that city, he pull up 10, 12 black cars deep, 20, 40 black men all armed with assault rifles, marching, standing. It's a line of police, it's a line of black men. You think you're gonna be any more of these black people that we standing in front of, that's standing behind us? You got us fucked up. Come their way and we gonna shoot you right now. Yeah. But don't y'all think not one day, don't y'all think not one day, look, if Martin Luther King stood up for you, his name wouldn't be ever. Do you see Malcolm X's name everywhere? Malcolm X's name might be in a few streets that might be named after Malcolm X in different cities, especially in the city that he's from. Right? But ain't no Malcolm X Boulevard in Memphis. I don't think it's a Malcolm X Boulevard in Nashville either. I've been a lot of places. I've never seen a Malcolm X Boulevard in Texas. Yeah, you know what? He actually stood up for the people. The white man that was pushing that racist shit didn't respect that. He only respected motherfuckers that's push what him to push. John F. Kennedy, he only got his shit because he's a white man, right? But they didn't mind giving it to him because they slapped his motherfucking wrist. They took his life because he didn't live by their code. But with his family because they white, still fuck with his kids because they white, still fuck with his wife because she right, and with him gone, they can control the narrative. They can control his wife. They can control his kids. Look, we gonna give y'all this. We gonna give y'all this, right? Y'all take it or leave it. But listen, if you walk out of that room and you leave it, This offer ain't gonna stand no more. And they took it. They took it. And that was so Kennedy's name and Kennedy's legacy could live on. You know what I'm saying? Because they looked at it as winning. They said, if we don't do it, you know what I'm saying, then his legacy dies. If we do it, we done sold out, but at least his legacy doesn't die. Truth doesn't die. Right? Why he really died, we'll get out there. Once it get out there, it'll be too much. Soon as Martin Luther King wanted to confess, they brought him to Memphis. Yeah, he was supposed to be. They was supposed to be throwing him a parade here. This where they took him out because they couldn't trust him. He done came back to them too many times. And his people, he done his people wrong and shit. And they like, no sir, we can do it. We can't let you do it, sir. Give me a second. I don't want to get that. Okay. Now let's go.
So for them to come back and that be the first thing that come out their mouth, like he decided to stay on the island and left. That when they said that, they automatically
those of you who just coming in, y'all like
it turned
the video,
me off, but it turned on a question like, I know he wouldn't do that. I preach that to him every day. He would not do that. So you telling me that you're lying to me just off the rip, you're lying to me. I can't believe that. And I won't believe that.
I saw that today for the first time because really a lot of folks who were there have been silent. We saw, people taking down their Facebook. It was almost an instant reaction that people went into to protect themselves. But Tracestin Shepard described himself as no. He gave an interview saying that he was the one who was yelling in one of the viral videos that people had been questioning, and said that it wasn't Nolan in the video, that it was him, and that Nolan met a girl that day that he really liked, even though he never, interacted.
Shout out to William Lynch. Yeah, he said, yes, leaders who stood on business, Ali, Malcolm X, they was real. Yes, sir. AZ Bot, I slap your bitch ass. Get your trolling ass up out the chat. Bitch ass nigga said, white guy here, I don't have a problem with black people. I think everyone. Bitch ass nigga. See, I hate the trolls. Cause they'll say some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And then vacate and then come back later on thinking nobody remember their name. When you say stuff like that, announce your city, your address, and all of that with it. See about you, okay? I just want to talk. Yeah. When you say that like that, put your address, your city, and your zip code. I just want to come talk to you. Table of words.
With this girl before, her name was Katie. Have you spoken to Tracestin since Nolan's passing, and how are you responding to his account of what happened?
Yeah.
So first of all, we don't know Tracestin. We've never met him. So to say,
y'all like the video, subscribe. We having a good ass time tonight. God damn it, figuring some shit out. God damn it, just vibe with each other. You already know here at my channel, story time is up. Story time is a must. Story time is needed. We gonna break shit down. We gonna stop. And we tie this shit in all together and see how it sounds. Gatsa, I appreciate you. Yeah. What William said. Look, they love to fight in the dark. Trolls, come to the light. Put your real profile picture up. We want to know what you really look like, right? So when we make a dictionary of all y'all ass, a phone book of all y'all ass, we'll know where the race is at on the map. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When we pull out the atlas, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the yellow pages would be a look up. Yeah, races in Denver, Denver, Colorado, Waterstone, Texas. We got about 2, 3 races out there in Beaumont. You know what I'm saying? Can't forget Texas. Texas, that's racist land. Boy, I remember when Obama got elected as president. I was in Houston, Texas. Boy, they got their freedom of speech shit. I mean, so many races had their trucks and their cars roof taped with the Confederate flags, windows uh, wrapped in like racial slurs, like I hate niggers, fuck Obama, he's just a black nigger who should suck a. I'm talking about this type shit on. I was like, how do black people stay out here? I was like, no, when I got a show. Do I hate being in Houston? Yeah. Because when I'm on the road, I gotta drive because I want to sit in the back seat behind the tent, close my eyes, or and listen to some music, the headphones on, or I want to watch TV with the headphones on. I don't want to look out the window because most of the cars that I pass are going to be whites that are racist. Yeah. It's out there in Texas. It's unlike any other place. It's everything. George Bush Airport, George Bush Boulevard, George Bush Street, George Bush Parkway, and their bushes. They stole oil from us. God damn it. We over here robbing these countries of oil. We should be slapping their ass on the back. Give us some of that motherfucking oil y'all got out there buried in Texas. Y'all trying to wait till we use up the world reserves. When we use up the world reserves and we ain't used up none of you control the oil. So we gotta set this shit on fire. Set this shit on fire. Guess what? When the world run out of oil reserve, I will no longer be buying. I won't give no money. Yeah. Y'all gonna get y'all electric junks right now. Cause Bush them got a plan to take over. It's a hostile one too. Yeah. Yeah, but I hate Texas. I mean, I fuck with all my people out there, black and white, Hispanic, especially my Hispanic people, because those Latino, Mexican restaurant scene out there, right? Fuck a Taco Bell. That's what got me saying fuck Taco Bell from going to Texas, right? But I can't fit racist shit all day long. That's all I see. I'm supposed to allow my neighbor to be racist, knowing they racist, and I stay next to 'em. Man, I got kids. That's why I don't see how Carmelo them family even stayed out there. All these black folks and shit. Y'all, most of y'all black folks are taxpayers and shit. Doesn't matter if blacks is the biggest, uh, it's the biggest minority out there, right? Uh, but y'all fuck the main taxpayers, right? But y'all ain't doing nothing but paying tax, rich ass millionaires and shit. Or y'all making their companies successful for them to be rich, white, and racist. Continue to be racist. Most of y'all work for them. It's no way that I see Denny cars out there with racist slurs and Confederate flags on it, and you can tell me or try to tell me that none of these people are managers and none of these people are fucking business owners and they just all just racist. How they got these nice ass trucks and shit? Come on, man. Y'all work for them folk. Might well say y'all work on plantations out there in Texas. Motherfucker might can be in Tennessee, but they sure ain't got the freedom of speech to be racist. That's one thing our Congress and our state Senate will not pass. Listen, you got freedom of speech, but listen, boundaries to your freedom of speech here in Tennessee. We won't allow it. No, because they know you'll have shootings everywhere. The white folk ride through. Just imagine the white folk riding through downtown Memphis with that type of shit window. Man, every YN with a gun gonna be shooting they shit down. No, we don't play that disrespect shit or that casual disrespect shit. Not here in Memphis. I don't know where else black people play that shit, but we don't play this shit here in Memphis. That's why most with a black girl from Memphis. Like as far as the racist shit, yeah, do it online where he can't touch you. But you in Memphis or he in your city and he tell you he from Memphis, the first thing I heard white people say is, "Oh man, y'all cutthroat. Oh, that's from Dolph. That's where Dolph from, man. I love y'all. I love Dolph. I love 3 6 Mafia. I love Yo Gotti." I be like, fuck Yo Gotti. You heard it here first. The only that ain't bandwagon riding, dick riding Yo Gotti. Me, nigga. Fuck Yo Gotti. Dolph was my big brother. And I truly believe that Yo Gotti set that shit up. He put that shit in motion with his big brother, Big Jook. And when Big Jook made this shit happen, Yo Gotti killed his big brother, Big Jook, so he wouldn't add him to the case. So he wouldn't incriminate Yo Gotti, and so he couldn't be able to get locked up, interrogated, and give Gotti up. Whether he gave Gotti up or not, if take Big Jook in and they say, yeah, we found you guilty for paying for the assassination of Dolph. The first thing they gonna say after they say that is how for it. I don't own no company. Oh, his brother. Okay, his brother has him on payroll. Could we say that his brother wanted Dolph dead? Let's look up their history. Then when they look up, you see that him and Dolph had a beef, and Dolph was winning the beef, and Dolph basically killed Yo Gotti's rap career to where he had to start signing artists to make money for these contracts that he was getting, and these contracts he was signing. Then they'll be like, okay, and then soon as Dolph dies, he starts back releasing singles and starts back rapping on featured songs and shit like that. But why would he doing it when Dolph was alive? Cause Dolph killed that shit. Dolph was bringing out motherfucking project every 6 months, every year, 1 or 2 albums. Nobody was keeping up with him. He was getting ready to become the biggest, the great out of them.
And that's a bit of a stretch. We've never met him. He's never come home.
We never met
Now,
him.
if you were to say that about Jalen or Javon, I would say absolutely. You could say that those are childhood friends, those are best friends because they've been to our home. We know their family. We're close to,
Yeah.
their mother. But this young man, maybe high school, they started hanging out or, kind of been around each other. But again, we don't know him. And not to discount anything he has said,
Nah, it's
which
to
of course,
discount
still trying to
everything.
rule those things out.
We want to discount
But I mean,
everything.
he has communicated. He did offer his condolences, which we appreciate. And he did let me know about that tidbit, which of course, like I've been telling everyone, if you have any information, forward that over to the local authorities. Make sure also forward that over to our legal team as well, just to make look at everything.
And this girl lady who has been cited. Oh yes, Mr.
Natasha,
Crump.
say this the young man. Does his parents, but some of his friends, they reject this notion about, he said he just volunteered to stay. They're saying Nolan would never do that. So his friends are saying he doesn't really know Nolan if he's saying that Nolan volunteered to stay there. And we've had so many people now call.
Man, Tristan, we know this now. We know this now. Tristan ain't their main friend. Everybody that was supposed to be Nolan's friend wasn't his friend. They was fucking using him. If Nolan was my friend and some shit happened to him and I was around and I didn't see what happened to him, but I knew who was around him when it happened to him because of the timeline from me being around him to me moving away from him on the beach. The beach ain't nothing but a strip of land, right? Time I look up, I'ma know where he at because he's the most popular black guy here. Not me. Every time I look up, it's gonna be something going on with him. Whether it's him talking to the family members, talking to him, people trying to take pictures with him. Every time I look up, something is gonna be going on with Nolan. He finna get ready to go. This is his last day here. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody want to see him, so everybody want to make that last impression on him before he has to go and endure his season, right? And this is what they can't make me believe, that you saw something. Not one of you heard anything. Y'all heard something and y'all saw something. How I know is because you never heard anything or you didn't see anything, right? But you did though. Tristan, you volunteered information and said that it was you yelling, right? That was Nolan. It was me yelling in that video. Well, nigga, do you know about the Nolan video? Do you know about Nolan yelling and arguing with somebody? And if you want to volunteer the information that was you yelling in that video, you don't want to mess about the argument you heard Nolan in and who it was with. You don't want to details, but you want to share the details that you were arguing. You want to try to take the video that Nolan parents and his lawyers and them are saying that he was in. You want to take that to throw the case that we got so far. Like, this shit is crazy. Why would you do that? I want to be using the young boy bars and song in 10, 20 years. I doubt it. I doubt that no one's using NBA YoungBoy bars. NBA YoungBoy is pretty fucking hard. And some songs I hear he sound himself. Some songs I hear he sound like Wayne. But as far as artists, the acting, everything, who he is, the cursing and all of that type shit, that's all a part of his artist act. He's a very talented artist. He throws some of the best tours, right? And that's not him. The character that he portrays on the internet, that's not really him. He's one of those little rich kids that always had, and he got on some drugs and shit. Did a couple of hard drugs, some shit that fucked up his head and shit. Got his mind kinda off. He'll tell you he smoked cake too. What's up, Ron? You alright? Ron C. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. He was showing off trying to impress a girl that didn't like him. What are you talking about, Pittsburgh midget? You want me going off on your ass too? Do you want? He was to impress a girl that didn't like him. Actually like him, because he's the only person out of all his friends that she took the time to sit and talk with. She obviously wanted him to go home with her. She was pissed. That's why she was ready to air it out to everybody that Nolan said he was going back to the boat with his friends. He wasn't gonna stay with me. That way he be the talk of the town, because that shows that he's a virgin. She probably tried to put it on to take it. Yeah, he liked her and he was interested in her, but he didn't like her that much, goddammit, to get her pregnant or have sex with her, because he wanted to go back to the boat. And I was just wanted to go back. Listen, they not fit. If they would have had sex, they wouldn't have had it on the beach. He would have gone back on the boat with her and her parents, but he didn't trust that, because he like, these folks trying to get my motherfucking semen. I've been going to make sure I get their daughter pregnant. It was his friends. The bitch didn't like his friends. She wanted an athlete type of his friends. But his friends was jealous because they liked it her. Fuck, he came. You see how bad she was? Okay then. Did you hear what a fucking mom said about Nolan? He's a nice kid and all of that. Yeah, nigga, why you think she's saying that? Because she wanted her daughter to have him. Yeah, her daughter was finna take her and her mom's life back up to wherever her divorced ass dad or deceased dad had their life. Her mother is obviously fucking single. A single rich woman, rich from divorce and shits like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't say that shit. What the fuck do you mean? How do I know? What the fuck do you mean? How do I know? This shit done already came out, Pittsburgh midget. What the fuck have you been following? Everybody know that fucking girl liked him. He was the only motherfucking young dude. She didn't even talk to the boys. Fool. When Team asked her, did Nolan talk to you? Did Nolan cheat with you? She but he didn't want to stay. He said he was going back. He didn't want to stay, nigga. I didn't want him to stay, so I told him go back with his friends. She said no, he didn't want to. He was going back to the boat with his friends. And then the friends counteracted her statement by saying, when they was asked about it, they said, no, he said he was staying with her. That's how you know they killed him. That's how you know they killed him. Because when he was with her, he took pictures and everything with her. He had his phone. He had his phone and his keys when he was with her. He told her that he was going back to the boat. How did they end up with his keys and his phone? How did they end up with his keys and his phone if he never came back to the boat and he was staying with her? Listen, how did they end up with Nolan Wells' phone if he went with her and he didn't go back to that boat? Listen, Nolan took pictures with this girl. This is not a female that she fine. You gonna see this fine female likes you and your guys and she only wants to talk to you. And they like, go on over there, bro, and talk to her. I'm jealous. Everybody else like, go on over there and talk to her. You over there and talk to her. Y'all chilling in the sand and shit. Y'all, she snap y'all up on the phone. You like, okay, I'll be going to Snapchat. You want to take a snap with me? The easiest way to get a girl a picture on your phone. You want to take a snap with me? Nolan know that. So he asked to use, look, this what the guys wanted. This why everything was deleted out of the phone. Because if they would have just deleted the pictures of her and him and the text messages, then they would have known, everybody would have known right off the back that it had something to do with Katie. The jealousy struck from a motherfucker wanting to be with Katie. Watch this. But if you delete everything, then they don't know when boat. He said he was going back to the boat. And you say, nah, he didn't come back to the boat. They can't tell because pictures deleted out the phone. Not right off the back, they can't tell. The picture's deleted. But if you just delete the pictures with him and Katie and their conversation, then that he not only came back to the boat, but the reason why he's probably missing is because he was chilling with Katie. Because someone deleted all the shit out of his phone to show that he was with Katie. And if it wasn't Katie, who else could it be? It would have been a motherfucker that's jealous of him being with Katie. So that's why everything was deleted out the phone. That's so her testimony wouldn't be able to stand up against theirs. They was really just trying to delete the timeline of him being with Katie, taking pictures with Katie, chilling with Katie, then coming back to the boat after chilling with Katie. Then nobody can see that timeline. Right? So now everybody like, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. Nigga, you know what to think. He only got back, killed him, took his cell phone, took his keys, right? Deleted everything about his fucking cell phone that could lead back to them and being of him being with Katie. Probably text him some evil ass shit too. Probably text him some evil ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And that would have shown. They done had some arguments before. That would have shown. All of it would have shown. So that's why they had to hold the messages and shit. That way, even with it, if every social media message is deleted and pictures, and all the photos and text messages and shit is deleted in pictures, then when you look at the victim's phone, you say, I can't find no timeline or nothing. I don't know what happened. And why did they? You always gonna ask yourself, why did they delete this? You know why? You don't know why? Because they deleted everything. So you got 50 different things to analyze to see why they deleted. But if you look at the story, you say, okay, he was with Katie, they took pictures and shit. He snapped up with her. Somebody was jealous. He lost his life for it. Why would they delete everything out the phone? Maybe because they was trying to delete the trace of him being with Katie, which made them jealous. That way we would be able to pinpoint what they was trying to delete. We wouldn't even be able to analyze any parts of it because everything is gone. We don't know where to start to focus from. What were they trying to get rid of up in here? Everything. No, they was trying to get rid of one thing. They just deleted everything. Right? They just, we wouldn't see what they was trying to delete. But I know what they was trying to delete. They was trying to delete the trace of his footsteps from the time he started with Katie all the way back to the boat. Because that's when the jealousy struck all the way and really got big. That's when the time with for a motherfucker to keep playing. That's the time when it was time for Nolan Wells to get the fuck out of there. And he had one way in and one way out. The way he came. He couldn't dodge. He couldn't hide. Nah, the Grim Reaper came for him. Yeah, he couldn't run and he couldn't hide. Working through the little racist ass white friend he had. Man, the folk was not his friends, man. Somebody friend and you accidentally kill him, even if you finna go to jail for the rest of your life, you gotta confess. You gotta confess. Because even if everybody else see you guilty, you knew that it don't matter what everybody think to you. It's only your friend get justice. And if justice means locking you up, because you're the person who took their life. Like shit, that was my friend, and if I gotta serve 20 years to get his family forgiveness, I do it. You know what I'm saying? But if that ain't your friend, it's not gonna eat you up inside. It's gonna bother you to throw the narrative for some white people that don't give no fuck about you. Some white people that's only concerned about saving their kids' lives and careers even after they murdered someone. Like I said, I got white friends. My kids got white friends. I mean, they stay in the suburbs. I mean, that's what you can expect for a kid that stay in the suburbs, a black kid, right? For them to have white friends. And then, but what I hate is when black people say, we shouldn't have our kids out there with them white kids. Y'all shouldn't push y'all kids. Y'all should have y'all kids going to an all black school. I won't have my kids going to no all black school. The staff ain't even well educated in an all black school. I don't give no fuck about what white people will do to black people, because it's a way around everything. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that racist shit, it's a way around everything. I don't give no fuck about this shit. I teach my kids, don't give a fuck about this shit. Watch your surroundings. Anything can happen. The law is not on our side. The law is on the white person's side. Right? Your friends, they white, respect them. As long as they respect you. The day that they don't respect you, don't give them any more respect. But you make sure, if you anywhere near me, you anywhere near your dad, you better call me. Because you get yourself into a situation where you get killed. I'm going to make it to the scene and kill you again. Because you allow somebody to take you away from me and your family. Shit's going to kill us. Beware of your surroundings. Beware of the people that you keep as your company. I have to teach my kids this. But don't ever let anyone, black or white, tell you that you don't belong where you are. I said, white kids around you are privileged. I said, but look, you're the black kid around them that's privileged. Yeah. So they can't say they better than you, because guess what? When they say, my mom and dad, they done had us living here, you can turn around to them and say, mom and dad has had us living out here for as long as I can remember. When they say, I hope I get valedictorian this year for the class, I told my oldest daughter, I said, you can't. I know I'll get it because when I was in the 5th grade, I got salutatorian. Yeah, you in tests like they fucking are. And that's why mom and dad got you out here. So you can expand your thinking, grow your thinking, and be one of the best minds that ever came out of Tennessee. That ever came out of Tennessee. Number 2 system in the state of Tennessee. Germantown school system. Right here where I stay at. Right here next to Cordova where I stay at. The next suburb over is Germantown, right? This shit ain't no joke. Hey, right here. Number one in the whole state of Tennessee. I said, yeah, as soon as we able to. Boom, I got my kids out here. Yeah, y'all going to school out here in Germantown. Yeah, y'all already smart. They gonna make sure. He gonna make sure you take care of y'all. But you can say the thing. Don't never let nobody make you feel like you smaller than them. If anything, they smaller than you. Your parents gonna go out for you and have your back just like their parents gonna go out for them and have their back. Yeah, I love about Nolan Wells' parents. It's just he's not here to see them go this far out for him and have his back. But thank y'all for the love. I want to make sure that my kids see it. Boy, life always get hard. Tell my daughters, I said, before I had child, I was knocked down in life and damn near everything taken away from me, nigga, 5, 6 times. And I'm not gonna say every time that I didn't, sometimes I didn't feel like fucking giving up. Cause I did. I said, but I did. I had God, I knew God, so goddamn it. I had a mindset that wouldn't let me give up. A mindset, a godly mindset that wouldn't let me give up. You know what I'm saying? And look where we at now. Look where we at now. Look at our following. People be like, man, you ain't got that many followers, man. You ain't got 1,000 subscribers. I said, man, I ain't got 1,000 subscribers. I said, but I got more people on my channel than I can fit in my living room. I said, and that's something, nigga. You heard me, that's something. Yo, my chat analysts. I love this shit. I love y'all. Man, y'all make me so fucking happy. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of things, and I look forward to a lot of talking to y'all, breaking some news to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all know how it go. For real. For real, for real. Yup, la for sure, for sure. Congratulations. Look, we got some real intelligent human beings that we all made. You're we just gotta be there. Be there and support. You know what I'm saying? I support basically us giving our time to mean more to them than anything. I think that's what helped my daughters achieve the most. Out of everything that I can do to help them, from teach them to tutor them to coaching them, me being there through all of that, me being there means the most out of all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the same thing for y'all little bitty babies and y'all kids. Being there for them, that shit means the most from us. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we that parent, we those parents that's always trying to be there, even if we can't always be there for them. We always trying to be there. Yeah, y'all give yourselves a hand clap. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all deserve that one. Yo, I love y'all. Y'all for sure got a hand clap from me. Um, and to all the young ones that's in the chat that love their parents and thankful for their parents and got parents that be there for them. Or the ones that ain't got parents that be there for them and they love being hurt. You know what I'm saying? Um, they love hearing from us, getting some black knowledge, or even some knowledge from us, or some power from us. Yep. Hand clap to y'all too. We love our young ones and we want y'all to stay positive in the mind. We want y'all to stay strong in the mind. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, yeah, man. That's how family work. We've been a family for a long time. A lot of people, a lot of people forget though. A lot of people forget how important time is. You know what I'm saying? What you using the time you got left or you're giving time to somebody else. People forget about it. We get caught up in buying things and being there fan shit. We forget about being there. You know what I'm saying? For real. For real, we do. We got another interview, y'all. I want y'all to hear this one. This is another good one. We got an interview from out. So what time? I got this at 10. 10. It was like 3. Yeah. So about 8 hours ago, TM with Nolan's coach. I won't play the interview, but I ain't even gonna lie. At first, I started off, I liked the interview. But he's scared too. I said, he's playing it like Ben. He playing it like Al. Don't want to say the wrong things. And you don't want to offend anyone. Did they give a fuck about offending you? Did they give a fuck about it? No. Did they give a fuck about taking Nolan's life? They did. Yeah. We in here for sure, la la. Yeah, stop playing. Did they? Did they care? They didn't care. So why the fuck should we care about how they feel and what they say? All that type shit, man. I don't give a fuck about those feelings. Only people I care about feelings in this motherfucking situation is Nolan's moms and dad. Right? I give a fuck about the millionaires and the billionaires. All they receiving most. Come in and take your time with this shit. Get this shit speedy this shit up. Cause that's what mom and dad want. They wanna know now, my nigga. They wanna know now. Cause if these niggas did kill their son, why the fuck are they still living in this same neighborhood? They should have been moved and they life is in danger, nigga. Boy, military minded, lost but can't find it. For real. Hey, I'm military minded for sure. Don't play with it. No, sir. Uh-uh. Here go Nolan's coach. Just listen to him, y'all. We gonna let him speak before we talk. Listen to him.
So Tracy, what
TMZ
his
ugly.
parents think happened here? Do they believe this was just an unfortunate accident, tragedy, or that it's something more sinister?
I was in Ocean Springs when it happened, and I was still in disbelief when I got the news that Nolan was missing. So when I got
Everybody in disbelief though. Every time somebody say that they got to lose, even the little two black boys, they say, I was in disbelief. Have y'all been fucking coerced or something? When I heard about it, I was in disbelief. What the fuck was you in disbelief about? A black boy being with three white boys and coming up missing, and the three white boys didn't come up missing with him, but they came back with pieces of him, his cell phone, his keys, very personal items. The fuck is, what is wrong with these folk nowadays, y'all? How can you be about somebody losing their life? Um, I gotta say, it really shocked me. Are you really fucking shocked? How the fuck you shocked? Now, when did the first feeling of you being shocked come around? Like, when was this first disbelief ass? What? I can't believe that Nolan went out with three white boys and he. Y'all in Mississippi, what's disbelief? What's disbelief that you're in? You and you in Mississippi? I'm just starting not to believe anybody's story outside of Nolan Wells' mother and father. And they always end with, we just need to all come together and get justice for Nolan. Is this shit coerced? Do you know Katie and her mom too? This shit crazy.
when I got all the details surrounding the case, that they told me he was out at Horn and he came up missing or whatnot. I talked with his dad and we found his body because I was giving the family the respect that they deserved when everything first took place. But I was sharing all the details that the family was sharing, just putting the word out there and just so that everybody could be on notice, everybody be paying attention.
Well, when you say you talked to the dad, did he kind of accept this as an accident and tragedy, or was he more suspicious?
Well, no, he was more so just searching for answers right now because it had just happened and there was a lot of questions still unanswered.
Usually high school football stars have a pretty close relationship with their coaches. What can you tell us about just Nolan as a human being?
Nolan was a great young man, with a big personality. Everybody gravitated to Nolan because of his smile. He just wanted everybody to be happy, and he was a coach, a joy to be around. To sum Nolan up, long story short, Nolan is a guy that I would let date my daughter.
I mean, there were rumblings that he may have gotten into an argument, that there might have been a confrontation or something like that. I mean, was he a guy who would stand up, where, his hackles would go up, or was he more of a get-along type guy?
He's more of a get-along type guy. Don't get me wrong. Now, if something happened, he'll defend himself, but I knew right then in that video that wasn't Nolan.
One of the theories is that that he was drinking and that there was a riptide that day and that maybe he got caught in a bad current out there. Knowing him as an athlete, we've heard that how to swim. Would that surprise you if he ended up?
I mean, it would surprise me, that happened. But like I said, man, I'm just waiting till the family, give out, details of what they done gathered.
Was there racial tension at this school?
No, I don't think it was no racial intention at the school. You know, from my experience, cause you have predominant white school, you have black kids there, and they all played and grew up together and got along. Now some stuff might have happened that I didn't see, so I can't speak wholeheartedly on it. But from what I did see, it was a tight knit community. You know what I mean?
So Tracy, what his parents think happened here? Do they believe this was just an unfortunate accident, tragedy, or that it's something more sinister?
I was in Ocean Springs when it happened, and I was still in disbelief when I got the news that Nolan was missing. So when I got all the details surrounding he was out at Horn Island, it came missing or whatnot. I talked with his dad, and we just had conversation. That was kind of after the fact when they had found his body, because I was just giving the family their respect that they deserve, and when everything first took place. But I was sharing all the details that the family, just putting the word out there, and just so that everybody could be on notice and everybody be paying attention.
Well, when you say you talked to the dad, did he kind of accept this as an accident and a tragedy, or was he more suspicious?
Well, no, he was more so just searching for answers right now. And there was a lot of questions still unanswered.
Usually high school football stars have a pretty close relationship with their coaches. What can you tell us about?
So let's stop that shit, cause this nigga a liar. That man asked him, when you were with the more so suspicious about what happened, or was he just kind of, this man said no, he wasn't suspicious, he was more like looking for an answer. Nigga, he was looking for answers to me, nigga. So you trying to find another word for it? This nigga crazy, man. Fuck is wrong with him? I'm talking about some dumb ass shit. These people, so many people are just trying to really like push, like, this shit don't go down. Then you heard them say, you know about anything racial going on at the school? He asked the coach this. The coach say, no, I wouldn't say it's racial. He said, but it. Then he tried to save himself by saying, but if something went on, something like that could have went on when I went around. So you telling me that you've been teaching and coaching these kids for years, and you haven't seen not one racial moment where a white kid calls a black kid a nigger, or a black kid calls a white kid, you bitch ass white boy, you fucking cracker? You telling me you ain't never, this shit ain't never happened at all at that school? You telling me everybody at that school is clean and pristine kids? Mr. Clean and Mrs. Christine. Man, you're a fucking lie. It don't matter if it's just all white kids at the damn it, they gon' get into it. Mixed crowds, they gon' get into it, stupid fucking fool. Some of them kids' parents they are still racist. And you telling me they ain't never, boy, you ain't never. Okay. I keep on letting you say that. Cool. Alright, you been coaching at school that long, and you ain't never seen no kind of racist shit going in Mississippi. I just let y'all keep on believing the coach. He was talking to the dad and he was saying sorry and all of that shit. And that's pretty much all he did because he can't lie to the dad. Dad gonna see straight through it. And dad wants straight and thorough answers. He don't want you beating around the bush or none of that shit if you get questions about his son's disappearance. Y'all like the we care about you like we need your subscribers. Y'all do that for me. Now, this morning, this past morning, Al Sharpton took his second interview with TMZ about the case. And what I like about Al Sharpton part, he not soft all the way through. Some parts he actually asked the question that needs to be asked, like we gonna do it. So we got their interview. We finna play their interview and hear what Al Sharpton gotta say. And we finna analyze where his ass went soft and where he went hard.
So, Reverend Sharpton, what was your reaction when you learned that Nolan Wells had been found 6 days after he had been reported missing on that boat on the 4th of July?
I was, first of all, at the fact that this young man is going out, he and 3 friends, he black, they white, and a day later his mother and them start searching for him. No one comes forward. And then they find out after 2 days that they claim his body was washed up. He'd given his cell phone and his keys to one of the 3 friends, saying he didn't want to go back from Horn Island with them. Well, first of all, it's very, very unlikely for most CEOs to ever get a cell phone. But if you're going to stay on an island that nobody's there, tourists or parties, why would you want to give up your cell phone? Then when they track the cell phone down and find out which one of the young men had it, and the keys, which they first said they didn't have, then he had to admit he did. All of his photos, text messages, everything on the phone had been erased. So what hit me strange, one, he's missing without a cell phone. 2, you lie about whether or not you had the cell phone and the keys. And 3, everything is erased from the cell phone. Too many unanswered questions for us. That something's amiss here. And on top of that, come out and say, check it out. Play. How do you know that when you just brought a body out of the water?
With that being said,
Al Sharpton said the same shit I said when I first heard the sheriff say, we're doing a thorough investigation. We think that there's been no foul play. Al Sharpton said, we're doing a thorough investigation, but you think there's been no foul play. He said, how do you know that? And you just pulled the body out the water. How there been no foul play? You just pulled an 18-year-old star athlete in the water. So you telling me there's been no You don't expect there's been any foul play. So you expect that 18-year-old star athlete went to Horn Island to die for the 4th of July. That's the only fucking way, but no foul play. He went to the island to actually die for the 4th of July. Now, when the fuck was he gonna tell his parents this? If there ain't been no fucking foul play. How the fuck that makes sense? How the fuck that makes sense? Somebody need to make it make sense.
And what more evidence? You literally just brought up his cell phone is missing. That the young man says one thing and goes back and for the sheriffs and the investigators to say that there is suspected foul play in this case.
They don't need
I
shit
think
else.
that the evidence that to build on is already there. Have these 3 young men in for questioning under oath. They gone through a search of.
So what amount of evidence do you think that they need to be able to actually bring these young people in for questioning? Told them they got all the evidence that they need. So you me what these young folks. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. For those of you who have not subscribed, subscribe so you can become a part of the family. And for sure, we gonna love you for it. We gonna welcome you straight in. All you trolls, just hit the subscribe button. You don't have to announce that you subscribe. Just hit it so you can always troll and always slap your ass when you get out of line.
And other things on the cell phone. Either they are doing policing or they're doing covering up. And that is why Ben Crump and Nash X Network and I got involved. The real unfortunate part is with this present administration in Washington, Donald Trump, you can't even say, as we've said historically, whether it was from Abner Louima in the 90s to George Floyd a couple of years ago, we'll go get the feds. You can't get this Justice Department. What we can do, though, is go to state court and sue and depose these young men on what they were doing. So there's going to be legal strategy that Ben Crump, who's the best at it, will do. I'm going to continue to stand with the family and mobilize people around the country so that this does not go off the minds of the American public.
Yeah.
Reverend Sharpton, do you think race played a role in this case? We actually, on our TMZ Live show, had one of Nolan's friends, a young African American male, and we asked him the same question, and he felt uncomfortable to answer. He didn't want to answer the question. But with what we're seeing, like you said, Nolan was a young black man out on a boat with the 3 white people, and the majority of the people on that island were white. Do you think race is playing a role in this? And do you think race will play a role in the outcome of this case?
I will say this. I do not know that race played a role, but I do not know race did not play a role. So I think you've got to put all of that on the table. How does anybody say that, oh no?
This is the thing. For you user TB2 TB2FL7FZ9C, which your retarded name as. I don't care what Al Sharpton is. Al Sharpton is not the lawyer. Al Sharpton is not a spokesman. Al Sharpton is a financial supporter, financial financial influencer, right? That Ben Crump can call to back his law firm for anything that he needs. Al Sharpton might not put his money up, but Al Sharpton has Tyler Perry's number on speed. That's how they got the funeral paid for. Al Sharpton has people like Colin Kaepernick. He got these folks' number in his phone, in his office directory. They got his number saved. The folks just went to New York. The same and in the same day that they went to New York, Al Sharpton got all of these folks on the phone for these folks in front of these folks and made them vouch for part of this case for the family, for the mom, for the dad. And they all pulled out their checkbooks. And Tyler Perry wrote a check for $5 million. Right? And my phone trying to fall and shit. Tyler Perry wrote a motherfucking check for $5 million. Colin Kaepernick wrote a check for over $100,000. Al Sharpton must not be that much of a joke for him to be able to influence men that have more money than him to pull out their checkbooks and write a check in his name. Write a check because he wants them to write a check. Tyler Perry don't know the Nolans. Nolan Well, moms and dad. Colin Kaepernick, uh, Nolan's mom and dad. Them folks know Al Sharpton. They damn near don't even know Ben. They know Al Sharpton. He might be a fucking fool, but he sure got a lot of influence over niggas who supposedly got better minds than fool. Niggas that got more money than him. He can make them move like puppets. So he must be goddamn it, he must be one of the best fools I know or ever heard of. Do you see what he's saying? He's such a fool that all of these motherfuckers want to interview him and get his perspective of its point of view. When they already got an interview with them, they want Al Sharpton point of view on what the parents think and what he thinks about the case. Come on now.
Race played no role unless you know the three guys and the three guys before. I certainly think you got to look at the possibility of racism at different levels. One, well, here the three guys racist. All right. Two, body was found. Is there a racial standing there? Many of us feel that there were three black guys and a white would have held them probably in custody and certainly had them seriously under scrutiny on if it was the reverse, in our opinion. But the family has said they don't want.
Didn't I just say? If there were three black boys, they would have held their ass in custody the whole time till they figured out whether them folk did it or didn't do it. And even if they did do it and them folk couldn't figure out who did it, goddammit, they were gonna pin the murder on the three black boys. They'd be in jail right now. So who got enough influence to make sure that them boys don't go into jail? The richest family of their community. The judge. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. I don't see them likes going up, but I see them numbers going up. Yeah. Um, yeah, the judge. She got that much influence. Yeah, let's not put her out of the game. She did make a statement on Facebook, and uh, uh, she made a statement on Facebook. Then her son-in-law saying he had nothing to do with incrimination right there. Incrimination right there. The police ain't said. I mean, we done said it, but the police ain't said shit about him having anything to do with Nolan's death. But why are you? Why is he talking about he had nothing to do with Nolan's death? Did we ask you? Did you have something to do with Nolan's death? No, we said tell everybody what happened. Y'all know how Nolan died. See, that's how the detectives gonna hit your ass, and you'll be the incriminator talking about some. Damn, we didn't say nothing about Nolan's death. What makes you come out and have to defend yourself about somebody dying if you didn't have nothing to do with it? And she come out and defend her son-in-law and say murder, and she put the court seal on the damn documented statement that she put out, meaning that if she did have something to do with Nolan's death, she potentially um, poisoned the jury pool, because the citizens listen to the court. The citizens are the ones who vote the judges in. The citizens are the ones who vote the judges in to be over the court, in the courts. So if the judge that the citizens voted in are telling her that, are telling them that my son-in-law didn't have nothing to do with the young black boy's death, neither did the other ones. They just all want to know what happened to Nolan, and they just want the police to be able to find it. Bitch, everybody listening to you up in that city. No, for doing it. She wasn't supposed to do that. She wasn't supposed to use the court seal on it. For sure, for sure. That's saying that the court is in agreement with her statement. You know what I'm saying? She never got locked up. She never got bought in for questioning after she made that statement. It's because she running the sheriff's department. She got the sheriff them spooked. Whatever she got on their ass. I don't know if they had a child trafficking ring or they was stealing evidence, something. She got something on their ass. Because them niggas quiet and still. Them niggas ain't even investigating. But every time they take a press conference, they say, we're investigating and we haven't found out anything new, but we're taking our time. And we're trying to be more transparent like the family lawyer did. They saying all of that shit. All type shit. Oh man, they trying to make it look real nice. Dress it up with a bow tie. I'm gonna be the type to get a lighter and set that bow tie on fire. Light that bitch like it was a candle. Yo. You hear me?
Say race, but they don't want it taken off the table. How do we know? Particularly when you have a sheriff saying there was no foul play.
Do you see this as an isolated incident or something that's becoming of a larger pattern? We've started to see, I know it's a kind of a different case, but like Carmelo Anthony with the race and all that this stuff. Do you think that these situations where these young black kids, I will say, teenagers, young adults, if you will, are hanging out with the majority of white people, and then something bad happens to them, and then all of a sudden nobody knows anything? Do you think this is an isolated incident?
I am beginning to see a pattern, and I think that I hear parents in Action Network. I hear parents that call my radio show saying I'm telling my kids don't go out with other
What's
people.
up, Casey Husband?
I mean, people are just naturally becoming very apprehensive, and we shouldn't have to live like this. That do some real justice in these cases, they will only intensify people's fear of even having social settings with people of different races for their children.
Are there any unanswered questions you think investigators still need to answer?
You ain't never been no guide over here, my nigga. Get the fuck out of my chat before I slap the fat out of you. Ain't nobody gonna acknowledge you shit nerd god. Get up out of my chat before I report your ass. You got a real fucking problem. God gonna handle you for the shit that you say, my nigga. Now, Saints fan, ain't nobody got it. Ain't nobody recorded no kind of drowning or none of that. That would have been all. It ain't possible. They might have recorded they self drowning on his phone and had leak.
In this case that they have not publicly answered so far?
I think they need to answer why they didn't go get the phone and the keys. His phone. I think they have to answer why they immediately said there was no foul play.
What's up, Toy
I think they have to answer, have they interrogated the three young men? I think they have to answer where there's a reported video of the young men and him being Nolan arguing, and he said something about his freaking phone. Well, what is on that tape? What are they arguing about? And how did you not question them about the argument? There's a lot of things that law enforcement would have to answer.
To some of these young adults that have that say they know Nolan. There's one specifically, Tracestin Shepherd, who went on Good Morning America, and
Tracestin, they done bought your bitch ass up again. Boy, that boy. Hey, Tracestin, that boy know how to lie. He might need to go to school or something. Matter of fact, Tyler Perry might need to holler. Tyler Perry, we appreciate that funeral money, bro. You might need to holler at Tracestin. Yeah, Tracestin Shepherd, he's a good fucking actor. Roles. He knows how to throw. He's experienced in lie telling. Trying to give a little bit of the boy resume. Got to tell us that his best friend and childhood friend. Yeah, them his favorite lies to tell. New York Times. He made the New York Times. He made the New York Post. What else on his resume? What else he done some acting on? Oh, he did acting on ABC News, Good Morning America. Let me see. What else he do some acting on? He did a little acting on, TMZ. They pre-recorded and replayed the story the lie that he told. The story. Let me see. Who else did he? Rolling Stone. Yeah, the boy got Stone on his resume. He did do something for Rolling Stone. I mean, he made a full, complete statement for Rolling Stone. He didn't even act that one out on video. So the boy Tristan Shepard has a big when it comes to acting like a motherfucker. So we just want Tyler Perry to give him a chance. Tyler Perry, get a boy Tristan Shepard a chance because he's a real fucking actor. We want him to have a chance. He already got his little stardom to fame throwing Nolan Wells after his passing. That's a double. Yeah, he full of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he full of shit. So yeah, Tristan, you full of shit. You had to say about him, Sharp.
He basically contradicted the Wells family and basically said that the video that we've seen of a young man yelling and an altercation was not Nolan, that it was him. And he basically said that everyone that was with Nolan that day did no wrong, and he does not understand why they are getting so much hate behind Nolan's death. He doesn't want to see him die. We just need to all relax and more is what he said.
I think rather than do an interview on ABC, he ought to be doing an interview with the police under oath and being warned, if you lie, it's a crime. How does he know what happened?
Right.
Any more than I know, unless he was there when whatever happened that led.
What I say? I said, how you know what happened unless you don't tell us what happened, Tristan Shepard? What the fuck did Al Sharpton say? He said, how do you know what happened to Nolan unless you were there? Come on, man. I'm busting this shit wide open.
Yeah, I mean, so to get people to try and tamp this down is possibly perjuring themselves, which is why you to try to put the heat on to sweat them out of their corner. How can you say?
Yeah, that's why you put people like me on them to get them out of their zone and sweat them out of their corner. These words that they talking, Al Sharpton gonna come back them motherfuckers with the questions like what's as checklists, right? And these questions that we asking are the same questions that Al Sharpton asking. So he finna put these questions on them and look for their response media and sweat them out their corner. Yeah. He finna sweat them out.
When he says it wasn't Nolan on the tape, it was him. Has he heard the tape? How did he hear the tape? Was he under oath when he heard the tape? I mean, they only set themselves up for more serious questions.
Yeah.
What should be prioritized next in this case?
I think the priority must be we must have an independent autopsy, which we have done, and we're waiting on the toxicology report. And we must have an impartial, independent investigation. Certainly the family, and I think with real reason, do not trust the local authorities that already determined there was no foul play.
Boom. They finna do an independent investigation of the whole case. Because Al Sharpton and the team already figured out that they can't trust law enforcement because they have already considered this play type of case. So you can't trust nothing that they say because they consider this shit no foul play, goddamn it, before they even really started investigating. That way they don't have to do their job. But we know who it's because of. We know Mama Judge that got in them 4 ears. She like, look, nigga, I have all you bitches badges. You bitches will be playing ball on Pelican Bay. Huh? Yeah, that's what she told her. She like Denzel in the jungle on training day. Yeah, that's what she told her. She told him she'll have Pelican Bay. They said, no! We'll do anything! She said, throw the fucking case. They threw that motherfucker.
And I think that we need to have independent prosecutor report as we prepare for a funeral that is going to be devastating for this family.
Got it. Do you guys have a date for the funeral that you've set yet?
No, waiting to see when the toxicology report comes back, and that will determine that. Probably next Monday in Mississippi, but I'm not certain yet.
Got you. Do you have anything that you plan to say? I know you're going to be officiating the service. Do you have anything that you plan to highlight or to make sure that
I'm going to call for fairness and justice and to remember and celebrate this young man's life. Right. 18 years old, doing well in football and college. If they can do this to the brightest of us, what can they do to the rest of us? If it ever happens, we need all of us need for this to come out.
Like he said, like Al Sharpton said, if they can do this to the brightest of us, what can they do to the rest of us? Yeah, what can they do?
But I won't say that I think he should say something, because given what he would say, I don't think it would be helpful.
I might agree with you on that. Reverend Sharpton, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you are a very, very busy man.
All right, thank you. Take care, Nolan.
So,
yeah, that's TM right there. But like Al Sharpton said, he ain't got nothing to say to the sheriff. Said from his point of view already, he can tell he can't trust him. And he most likely have nothing good to say. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't gonna ask some shit. He ain't got no questions for him. They just gonna reinvestigate everything. They're gonna reinvestigate the case. They're gonna reinvestigate the police department. They're gonna reinvestigate the autopsy, which they doing right now. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna reinvestigate every person that was involved with it. Question every person that was involved with it. They're gonna do the investigation themselves. Yeah, because they can't trust law enforcement. And we right here every night. And as long as they going, we gonna stand right here behind them, and we gonna bring this shit straight to y'all. Y'all know what this is. This is Blockstar Image Analytics. They know who we are. We are Blockstar Analysts. And what did we just do? We just analyzed the fuck out of it. Listen, man. I love you, chat. I thank you, chat. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel to become a part of the family. And don't forget to comment down below. Listen, man. You've been chilling with yours truly, Blockstar Image, all the way from Memphis. Get me. I'll be back, y'all, later on tonight. Maybe in the middle of the day like it yesterday. But for sure later on tonight we'll be going live. I love y'all, man. Y'all have yes, sir.